walk away, but I'm going to continue to go through this process, and you're going to show up with me every single day because I want you to see me every single day, and I want you to remember, and I want you to know.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're talking to you guys about Married at First Sight. Yes, Married at First Sight, season 15, episode 10. We are breaking down this particular episode with some super panelists as well, because this episode was a whole beak of madness, a whole heap of madness. Listen, if you want to join the conversation today, I'm going to put a link in the chat for you guys to join as well. Please, if you're going to be joining in, cameras need to be on. Okay, simple as. If you want to join, cameras need to be on, otherwise I'll just keep kicking you out. All right, but listen, it's crazy. Woo, man, it is tight up in the dunya. There's a lot of things that we need to discuss. Alexis saying that they tried to have sex and it couldn't happen. We need to discuss the fact that Stacia has pretty much put our boy Nate in the love position. Yeah, that's not natural. I don't feel like it's a natural progression there. Also as well, Bin and Morgan. I mean, Morgan is not going to let you get away with anything. This girl will make sure that you die an early death. You understand? She'll make sure you die an early death, Morgan. We've got also as well Kristen and Mitch, who seem to be very open, very honest. And, you know, they're doing pretty well in terms of their communication and skills. It is very surprising to me. Okay? So there's a lot of stuff that went down. Yes, Crystal, a lot of wazoo, zoo, 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 zoo. Things that will just, you know, get the mind thinking. Wazoo, zoo, 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 zoo. A lot of that was happening. So, yeah, listen, if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor. Like it, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is. Baby, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated because the streets out there are hot. All right, cool. Listen. It's tight in the dunya, isn't it, really? It's really tight, isn't it? I mean, to be honest, the big news today is this.
For me to walk away, but I'm going to continue to go through this process, and you're going to show up with me every single day.
I mean, old girl basically said, you're going to show up with me. Whether you like it or not, you're going to shop with me, because once you've affected me, once you've been hurtful of me, there ain't no way out. Oh no, baby, you got to go through with this. Oh no, baby, you got to go through with me. Oh no, baby, you got to do what we gotta do. No. Baby, so listen, you ain't about to get away with this right now. You've got to be able to run with me, and you'll have to stick it out. Because since I'm sticking out my contract, and since I don't want to be here, yeah, so are you. Okay? So put some respect on my name. Like, honestly, old girl, listen, I've broken it down already in the video, so I'm being a bit more facetious and funny with it. But honestly, when Morgan gets hurt, you know, we spoke about this the other day about being vulnerable in your pain. When Morgan gets hurt, everybody got to get hurt. When Morgan gets hurt, everybody has got to get hurt. And that's what is the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem, you know? So, you know, honestly, with Morgan and Bin, there ain't no hope for them. There ain't no hope for them. Bin needs to actually stand up for himself a bit more, but he also needs to take accountability for the fact that he fluffed up. Let's be honest, he fluffed up. He made a big mistake. You know, honestly, the brother should have been speaking to Justin. Justin's a loose cannon, a loose mouth, and talks too much. I don't know how he could have trusted Justin. But in all honesty, Alexis was messy as heck. Messy as heck for actually coming and telling Morgan this information, because there was no need to. It was a conversation between your man and a conversation between his boy. The fact that you would take that information and run with it and say this means you're very messy. There was no need for Morgan to know that information. None at all. None at all. Because it was a conversation that was had between the two guys, and they were having their own personal conversation on the phone or whatever they were having on. And the fact that you took the information and ran with it, Yeah. The fact you took the information and ran with it. Alexis is very messy, very very messy. Yeah, Alexis is a problem. I'll be honest with you. Alexis is a big boy problem, and yeah, I'm not feeling the way she's moving. Do you know what I mean? I think to myself, like, what was the motive? What was the motive? What was the motive? Do you want to help their relationship? Then this information doesn't need to go to her, right? Did Keisha call her out on the after party? I don't know if she did. I haven't seen that part. Did she call her out on the after party? That's good then, because there's literally no reason why she had to do that. And it's like consistently she says things out loud that don't need to be said. It's like, babe, you don't need to say this. It's okay. It's cool. Right? It's like there's no need. Why did the information need to pass from the conversation? Like, you weren't even involved. And the thing is, she wasn't even involved in the conversation. You're acting as if Morgan is your best friend. Right? Honestly, she's acting like Morgan is her best friend. If Morgan was her best friend, I think we'd all understand. Morgan isn't your best friend. Right? Let's see what some of you guys are saying as well. Some of the comments that are being said. Alexis used the word ethical as a justification of repeating the conversation. What ethical? But what's ethical about this? What's the need for being ethical? There's no ethical here. You know what I mean? What's the ethicalness here? You are an experiment. First and foremost, we don't even know the experiment is even ethical, let alone you choosing to be ethical. Alright. Someone said Justin should have learned the first time talking to Bin while Alexis was around. She told Morgan then. Good point. Alexis is in everyone's business, but taking him down the night in the bathroom after he did the Tootsie Roll. They're doing the same thing. Lol, messy. Okay. I hear you. She's trying to keep Justin and Ben away from each other. Okay. I heard that. Morgan is chastising Ben for confronting Alexis. What's he supposed to do? He wasn't given an opportunity to talk by Morgan. Okay. Alexis needs to sweep around her own front door. Stop outing your husband every time you open your mouth. Oh, boy, Chile. Sasuke says, am I sharing that drink? Depends, you know. I don't know. It depends, Sas. DM me in it. You'll get a taste of the drink still. Alright, cool. Eldrin said she doesn't like the relationship between Justin and Bin. I wonder why she doesn't like the relationship between the two of them. Natasha says, I don't get why she's so upset. She shares how she feels with the ladies. Make it make sense. Yeah, I'm not sure either. It all comes back to Justin. She was tired of her husband being a gossip queen and blew up his spot. But that doesn't make sense. If your husband has been a gossip queen, what by you snitching to Morgan, what does that make for you? That makes you also a gossip. This drink is slapping, I can't lie to you. Oh, the Ribena is doing bits. Yeah, you lot know about Ribena? You guys know about this Ribena? Do you know about Ribena? Do you have this in America, Ribena? Oh, this thing slaps. It is a dangerous black currant juice, boy. It's a dilute. You know, you add water to it, especially if the water's chilled. Chai. It's a wazoo. It's a madness. Okay. Ludwin, you better not play with me, baby, tonight, okay? Let's not play tonight, Ludwin, okay? Don't play with me, baby, alright? Alright, let me get Sean on, and we'll get the conversation flowing. Let's get it going. Brother Sean, you know I like to open up with you, sir. What are you saying?
What's up, Cap?
What are you telling me, bro?
Yo, listen, bro. This episode, come on. Just like the twists and the turns, the drama.
What was the craziest thing on the episode for you?
Yo, I'm going with Ben and Morgan. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, that for me, it just it just seems so imbalanced. And I feel like at the end of the day, have we even really heard what the issue was? Really? It just seemed like normal banter, conversation. It didn't seem like something so fatal. So either Morgan just really doesn't want Ben, or she's going to be the type that just turns a mountain into a molehill, you know? Because everything's going to be dramatics and it's always going to be fireworks no matter what happens. Because to me, I didn't see what the big deal was at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely, bro. I don't know what the big deal was, and the fact that he kept on asking her, what is it that I said? What is it I said? And she just said, "You know what I said. You know what you said," instead of actually repeating it. That usually is an indication that you don't have nothing, yeah, and you're stressing over nothing. Because if you had something, more than likely you would have said it straight there and then, you know.
100%. Now, what to me even showed, and again, I'm not excusing sometimes that, you got to be careful with who you talk to and what you share. So I'm not discounting that. But this is all just rudimentary stuff. I mean, how in the world he's reaching out to somebody in the cast who's on the same experience journey with him, that he wants to express how he feels about things. Now, where I think Ben is at fault is he should have told her. You know what I'm saying? He should have just been, and he struggles with that. And I'm sure we'll dive into it later, but we see many, many times, especially in this episode, either he's a people pleaser or he's like just terrified. He's terrified of Morgan because he cannot express himself. And that's something that he's got to work on or figure out how to deal with confronting, because it's a big issue. Now, what just the last little thing that just didn't make sense to me, and it seemed a little was when he carried himself and now he wants to go and talk to Alexis and be like, what did you say?
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't understand that. That to me was like, didn't make sense. It just, if you're that comfortable with confrontation and you want to run down there and be like, okay,
Alexis,
you need to direct that energy to your wife. You know what I mean? Like, have that same courage. So that didn't make sense either.
Yeah, bro. I that's a very good point, bro. Why he was so comfortable going to the house of Alexis to find out what Alexis had said, rather than again, defending himself with Morgan, because he pretty much caved in for Morgan. But the way he went to Alexis' house to go and ask her questions, I'm like, you went to the lion's den to ask her questions when you know that obviously Justin ain't got no control over her. So, bro, this is not even it's a safe space. My brother will help me up. Brother, Justin's got no control over Alexis. Alexis will do and say as she pleases. So what made you feel so confident and comfortable to go and do that is a really good question. I don't know why he felt that comfortable.
Yeah, that was, I wish he was on the after party with Keisha, because I know she would have asked some good questions, because that didn't make sense.
What did she say? What did she say to Alexis anyway about the situation? What did Alexis say about the situation on after party?
Well, she seemed to have some contrition, so she was like, "Oh, towards the end, she realized that she shouldn't have gotten involved." She said she learned her lesson. But we know Alexis likes to play all day, so I don't know what to believe or not anyway.
It could be anything.
She's a dangerous one.
It could be anything. It could literally be anything. You ain't lying, bro. It could be anything. Yo, JR, what's good, man? It's good to have you as well, bro. Talk to me, man. What was your thoughts around this fiasco?
Oh, man. I definitely see Ben and Morgan as being over, man. Hey, how you doing, everyone? Before I get into it, but yeah, man, I think Alexis kind of violated the relationship by going to tell Morgan what she overheard. Because remember, it wasn't even said directly to her. It was something that she overheard on a phone call, and she decided to go and do that. So, for me, when she mentioned ethics, Nah, man, she's got an ethical code to her relationship where she doesn't need to go and talk behind his back, and she already throws him under the bus at any given opportunity. So that's just another violation, another strike. So yeah, Morgan's a hothead, that's for sure. And I don't think Bin is gonna live it down. I think that's probably the end of them.
Question to you guys, obviously, if your partner did what Alexis did, what would be your next step? If your partner did what Alexis did, what would be your next step that you would decide to do, in response to what she had done? If your partner had done what Alexis had done, what would be your approach? Jay, I'll go for it first, and then I'll get Sean to talk.
Well, for me, I definitely would need to have a conversation about that and why she felt the need to do that. Because I would assume that she would expect my loyalty to be towards her, right? So it's reciprocity, like, and at the end of the day, our relationship is expected to last for a long time if we do connect. So doing something detrimental to our trust or our relationship like that at such an early stage, it's going to be hard to bounce back from. So yeah, definitely would start with a conversation. And I'm a forgiving person, but it may take a while for me to regain the trust about that.
Hear that, Sean? What's your thoughts? What would you do if in the situation if Alexis was your partner, if Alexis was your partner, what would be your next step?
One, I think Ben didn't. I mean, another bad move on what's his name, Justin's part, right? Because he was on. I think it was a FaceTime call, right? So he was FaceTiming with Ben or speaker or somehow where she was able to overhear the conversation. So number one, that's where he went wrong. You never do that. That's like the cardinal rule. Don't talk to me on speaker, or don't have me on speaker when we're having a conversation and there's somebody else in the room. I don't care who it is. So ultimately, that was definitely, I would be more upset with Justin than I would be with Alexis. That's number one, right? So Justin needs to be accountable for that. And those two always, they carry on like gossips anyway, him and Alexis. They're like two grade school friends, It's all this chatter. Oh, you see that? You see this? So they need to dead that part of their little relationship because it ain't going nowhere, but all paths leading to friendship. So that's that. You get settled. We settled in our relationship. Then we're moving through steps. Then I can say, "Oh, babe, guess what happened? You'll never guess, but don't say nothing, right?" But at the very beginning, we're doing all this kiki ka 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 ka. It's setting the grounds for a girlfriend. So next, I would say, listen, if I were in Justin's shoes, I would just be like, look, at the end of the day, if you happen to overhear something, if I can't trust you, that's a problem, because now you put us in she put both of them in a very uncomfortable position, because the wrong person it's gonna cause a big blow up, and you're interfering in people's relationships. People vent all the time. It's natural. And I don't understand why people can't you got to give people license to express their feelings and to talk. And sometimes it's better that they talk to somebody else than they talk to you, because some of that stuff you don't even need to hear. He probably is like, she's annoying, and she is annoying. And she don't want to hear that anyway. He can barely sneeze wrong and she's like ready to run out the door. So at the end of the day, I really think I don't fault Ben so much for just kind of venting. But, I would say Alexis just has no understanding of relationships, because if you really thought that, like, why would you want to tell her the worst things? If you want to do something, she could have went to Ben, or she could have went to Justin and been like, Justin, I think some of this stuff he needs to work out. Maybe next time you talk to Ben, let's have a 3-way conversation with him. I could tell him my advice from a friend's perspective, because I'm really good friends with Morgan. But just to run tell that, she can't be trusted. Because look, she gonna do the same thing to you. She did it to him. She gonna do it to me.
I'll definitely hear you on that one, bro. 100%. And listen, it's a violation, boy code violation, to have your girl on the other side, for you to be on me, put me on loudspeaker, and you not tell me your girl's on the other side. Like, do you know what I mean? The complete violation. You know, and as boys, we have all types of conversations, you know, when you're in a relationship, when you're not, you know, and sometimes you say some wild things when you're talking with your boys. And it, honestly, it's like you said, it's blown off steam. It's not, I generally going to do it next day, whatever. It's oftentimes, it's just blown off steam. I'm frustrated about something, you know, you might say, F that B. That doesn't mean someone should go and tell my partner I said F that B. Like, you don't need to go and tell her that. Like, it's a conversation amongst the man them, and we're having our one-to-one conversation. It's our personal convo. This should never be on loudspeaker when Alexis is in a close vicinity. That means you're trying to take me out. So for me, I'm looking at Alexis. I'm looking at Binay, and I'm looking at myself going, no, I need to sort out old boy as well, bruv. Because how can you do me dirty like that and you put me on speakerphone? As much as Alexis, what she did as well is absolutely wrong and violation as well. But bro, you gotta tell me your girl's is in the vicinity. You gotta tell me your girl's in the place. But then you put me on loudspeaker. You trying to kill me too. Like I can't trust you either. You're not a solid person by putting me on loudspeaker. I have to now question Justin's motive for putting him on loudspeaker when your girl could hear it. Now maybe she might have been upstairs and kind of like came down the stairs and overheard a little bit and stood by the stairs or whatever. But why you got it on loudspeaker? It's sensitive information. You know what I mean? It's confidential. You're just handling paper like it's normal, general admission. It's confidential. It's got a stamp of approval on it. You don't just handle it anyhow. You deliver it appropriately. You know what I'm saying? That's the same way you got to handle this conversation. There's no way you handle it with general admission, anyhow and anything. No, it's confidential. So therefore, handle it with care. So Justin is just as much as a problem for me as well, because the fact that you don't know those rules, yeah, you're a problem. Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, I have a funny story at this place I used to work for. So I was talking to a manager that's on my team. So they are a manager of a team, and then they report to me, right? So we were talking about an issue with somebody on their team member, and I was a little too loose with my words when I was describing the person, right? So I was like, I might have said, they're not the sharpest, the sharpest tool in the shed. Something I said like really flip like that, right? So, but then I just left that and I was like, I don't know if you want to trust them with that task because, they've been known to make mistakes. But I said it like really flip, right? So why they had me on speaker and the person overheard. So the person overheard. So imagine this is how it's right. So it's not your boss, but it's your boss's boss that's just talking real reckless, and that's me, right? So then the manager tried to downplay it. Somehow it gets back to me, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad, right? This is gonna be bad. So I get to the manager, and I'm like, yo, like you had me on speaker? Like, lesson learned for me. She was like, oh, I didn't know, him and hawing. But like it's that same little seed of bad contention, because this particular person, they also wasn't a big fan of me. And this just let me know you are not to be trusted. So I had to just own it. I went to her and I apologized. Listen, I was just talking really quickly. I apologize for, my remarks, and we just had to move on. It was the most awkward conversation ever, and it's like, you just have to eat crow. You have to sit there and eat crow. And it was like, at the end of the day, I had to own it, because I'm like, I'm at work. You got to know your word. And in the grand scheme of things, I was like, can't trust nobody, but mind your words. So,
bro, it's real. I was just thinking about back at work myself. I remember I had a team. Obviously, we had our group in it, our team, and I remember we was all having a conversation. I remember I said something about one of the managers, like I was like, I don't like the way they do something or whatever, right? And I know one of my friends had warned me about someone in my team that they got the loosest lips in the place. I kind of like it, just kind of went over my head a little bit in it, and obviously we're all just talking in a group. So it's like, 5, 6, 7 of us just talking in a group. And we're talking about certain people that have, in the business, whatever. I mentioned about a certain manager and the way they went about their stuff. I didn't like the way they went about it. Bro, word for word, that got straight back to that manager. And I knew exactly who it was. And I was just like, you know what? Sometimes you don't realize some people are genuine snitches to the core. Like, there are genuine people out here who are doing Randall on recess, you know what I mean? And literally just snitching for fun. And you're like, why? Why are you so miserable that you want to ruin my life as well, bro? Like, it was a conversation between the group of us. It wasn't meant to get outwards. It wasn't meant to go towards that person. But some people just don't have the aptitude of fortitude of mind. Or I should say, rather, they're sneaky enough to set you up. That man are moving like they got to put a wire on you or something, fam. Like, you're not with the FBI. Baby, stop it. Okay? All right? It's a violation to go do that and go and talk to your friend when you know for sure you overheard a conversation. Yeah, I wasn't feeling that at all. Wasn't feeling that at all, to be honest. Wasn't correct behavior.
And listen, sure. I want to tell y'all, everybody's like, when you're on speaker. No, we have state-of-the-art communications at my job. True. Cisco IP phones, you cannot tell. And especially if you're doing 20 things at a time. I mean, I'm not sitting in a still, quiet place in a vacuum. But no, our phones, unless it's on some next level, a lot of noise going on in the background, you really, really cannot tell. So trust me, I'll be on it.
I'm with you on that, bro. JR, you want to add to that?
Man, I haven't been in any situations where I've been thrown under the bus like that. I'm usually a safe space, so I don't have that particular problem. But I must say it is a double standard, because Alexis does talk about her relationship with Justin, and Morgan does it as well. Morgan talks about Ben too. So it's very hypocritical for Morgan to flip. But again, I think the whole situation is crazy, because both the couples can be culpable to some degree in the event taking place. So my thing is, who has the accountability in both couples to accept and acknowledge that, and then try to move on past it? Because that's the only way you're going to rebuild the trust that was violated, right? The trust that was broken.
No, I'm hearing you. Listen, listen, anybody who puts people on speaker, especially when like it's a confidential conversation, you are a BITC. I don't need to finish it because you know exactly what you are. Like, that's just ridiculous, bro. Like, like you're trying to get me catch up. You understand? Yeah, I mean, get me. So don't do them things there, because it's like, that's problematic, bro. But yeah, I wasn't feeling Alexis. She definitely overstepped her mark. But okay, cool. Let's break some stuff down that happened in this episode then as well. And let's get some conversation flowing. Who was the first video I've got going up here? All right, cool. Let's still talking about Morgan, but what she said to her mom.
With the dress, I saw you coming down the aisle.
Yeah.
But I feel you closing the door.
Yeah.
Morgan's mum says that she feels Morgan closing the door. What was your thoughts to the fact that her mum gave that commentary about her own daughter closing the door? Let me know. JR, what are you saying?
Man, her mum was spot on, because it seems like Morgan's been... she has really contributed to the state of where the relationship is at the moment with her and Ben, right? And her mom's obviously very observant, because she's been actually paying attention to what Morgan's been saying, and obviously if she's caught wind of the times when she's blown up as well, then it's
It's not her mum, by the way. Sorry, guys. It's not her mum. Apologies, guys. It's not her mum, apparently.
It's
It's not her mum. Who is that? Is that her friend? Is that her sister? Who is it? Anyone
It
know?
looks
Yeah, who is it?
it looks a little on the elderly side to be her mom,
yeah.
but
That's her friend. Oh, Lord of mercy.
oh boy.
Okay, sorry.
Wow.
Go for it, bro. My bad.
Yeah. So anyway, she, like, the friend is obviously very observant because um she doesn't hide. Morgan doesn't hide the way she feels about Ben, right? She's quite open, not only to his face, but obviously, like I said, the hypocrisy. She does talk about the relationship behind his back too. So, yeah, I think that it's very telling that she's tearing up at this moment in time. I think those tears are of relief that someone is finally seeing her side of the story or empathizing with her in this situation. So that's what I took from it.
Sean, what's your thoughts?
I think it's somebody that knows her, right? And they know her her tendencies to shut down. And they could already hear her just looking to close the walls. And I think she still has a lot of work to do. And the unfortunate part is that and I think that's why it's like it's so extreme, because it's like the slightest thing she's looking to shut down. And it's like, yeah, you're definitely, you didn't come into this ready to really be married and understand like relationships, because just her whole concept is off. The mere fact that she's like, I came in this wanting for somebody to, just give their all to me. And then when she was talking about her ex and how he was willing to fight anybody for her concept of what a relationship looks like and the wiggle room that people have in a relationship to show up with faults is zero. It's zero. Do you realize that people are going to make mistakes? You are going to show up imperfect. There's going to be something that you do that's going to press on the nerves of your partner, and vice versa. And it's like the slightest thing can be betrayal. Somebody airing their feelings or saying how they feel about you, or maybe they're sharing an opinion that he wish he could have shared with you, but you're not willing to hear anybody disagree. So I think the friend knows her. I think the friend is like, listen, at the end of the day, I see what's about to go down, and she feels bad for her, because she there's a heart under there, but it's so much to get through and to weed through for her to be, really safe and secure in a relationship.
I hear you on that. I really, really hear that. Good breakdown. JR, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I got to agree with Sean. That, like I said, that it must be someone very close to her, because or they're very observant and they've seen this behavior from her before. So she seems to be consoling her, and like I said, the tears seem to be coming from more of a relief standpoint than actually tearing up about the end of a relationship potentially we've been, right? I think she's been doing things to kind of contribute to the end of that relationship, consciously or subconsciously. I don't know how targeted she is, but she's not really adapting to the relationship with the person that she's in it with, and I think that's a major problem, because she definitely does need to be more flexible in her personality and the way she interacts with Ben. She can't just be mean, strong. I'm gonna bulldoze you every time you open your mouth. I'm gonna keep holding things against you. It's not gonna work. Like, no relationship's gonna work. And if he was doing that to her, I'm sure she wouldn't enjoy it either. So, yeah, for me personally, I think that the friend was just at the right time to catch her at that point where she was just, she needed that relief off of her shoulders. But is speaking to her friend about the relationship any different? I mean, obviously she didn't put the friend on blast or on speakerphone or anything, but she's still confiding in her friend about their relationship, right? And she has no compulsion in doing that. She does that regularly. So for her to throw down the flowers and do all the other dramatic stuff she did, I think it was a bit over the top, for sure.
Yeah, definitely hear that as well, Jack. And I think just with Morgan and the friend, I thought it was her mum. Honestly, I do think it's her mum. What the friend mentioned, which is obviously like, I can tell that your guard is coming up and you're basically like you're almost done with a relationship. And I'm like, this girl quickly goes from 0 to 100 in terms of wanting to quit. I mean, it wasn't long ago she wanted to quit the last time when she told a lie, and now she wants to quit again. It's like she doesn't know how to stay long in these. I don't think she knows how to do long-term relationships, and two, doesn't take accountability for when she messes up. So it's like almost as if you mess up, you get one chance or one chance only. You mess up, you're out of here. I'm out of here, whichever one comes first. And I think that's like a fear of commitment there as well, and not being good enough as well. So yeah, I'm definitely hearing what the friend was even saying to her was I think the friend kind of enabled her a little bit, just a little bit, by not telling the full truth. But Ludwin, what was your thoughts to Morgan talks to friend? What was your thoughts?
Hi, can you guys hear me? Okay. I want to make sure because last time I watched the show back and I kind of sounded like I was mumbled a couple times. So I want to make sure I sound okay. The conversation with the friend seemed therapeutic in a way because although we have been telling the cast what's going on, but I feel like she doesn't want the cast to get in the business, just only her friends. So she probably felt more comfortable. Maybe she's one of those people that have to build that relationship with the rest of the cast first before she feels like sharing the ins and out of her relationship. That could be the case as well with that. And on top of that, I think it was Sean that said that she felt a little bit more relief. I'm not sure what happened with her dad, the disconnect there in particular, but I feel like she has this attitude of she gets betrayed a lot, and she holds that in pretty strong. I think that might be up to her demise with anybody really that does her wrong. She's gonna hold that in. So hopefully, maybe in the next couple of weeks, one of these guest speakers that come on the show. I'm sorry, guest what do you call them?
The expert.
Therapists that come on the show actually try to get to that point and see why she's so standoffish. So that could be another reason as well that she every little thing is just this big betrayal and she just can't handle it. So with that. That's it.
All right. Thank you very much, Ludin. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, again, the friend's conversation with our good with our good sis was, I guess, something to show her support, basically, and obviously see that Morgan's got somewhere to vent and tell her truth. But the reality is that she's telling another friend, somebody who's not in the relationship, the same thing that Bin is doing. The only difference is Bin's one is getting out, and also potentially she feels like he said some things that weren't great. But overall, it's because she's talking to somebody outside the relationship as well. So in relationships, you just gotta be. I think you gotta be upfront and front about what the rules are. You know what I mean? So that people know exactly how to play. Because maybe this is not comfortable for you. Maybe it's comfortable for me. And then if that's the case, we need to negotiate. Maybe a particular behavior I do you don't like, and it affects you in a particular way, and I've got to potentially accommodate you as well. So I think, obviously, she did state to him originally that she didn't want him to tell Justin. So in some sense of the form, he did break her trust because that was something that they agreed upon beforehand, right? And he obviously broke that protocol. But if he had stuck to that, she would never have this problem. They would never have an argument. Then there'd be a situation But if there was, I'm trying to put it quickly, like the way Morgan sees things, it don't matter what you do, she's gonna get you eventually. That's my thing with Morgan. Like her thing is she's going to get you eventually. And as you heard her speaking to her friend, if you heard her earlier on, even before the clip part of the one I showed you, she basically was excited and happy. I wouldn't say not excited. I'd say it's a bit far. She was very happy with herself, and she said that I didn't basically hold back on him. I went on him. I told him. I basically gave it to him. You know what I mean? And it was like I shouldn't say I was surprised. The friend didn't necessarily check her or be like, "Hey, look, do you know what? That's not what you want to be doing if you want a healthy relationship. Like if I want a healthy relationship, there is things where I'm gonna like, bro, that's not helping you the relationship, bro. Like that's not gonna help foster a long-term relationship." So when I heard some of the things that she was saying, and her friend was kind of backing her at least enabling her by giving her room to wriggle, I said, "Nah, it's not a good look. Not a good look." Don't even want to add anything to that, Sean, or...
Yeah, I just think the whole thing was just, when I see the both of them, they're both very immature, And I mean, listen, we may disagree for how she reacted to what happened with Ben, and that's going to happen, right? But at the end of the day, like, it's like the running out, the leaving, and then you go through the other dramatics. Oh, I'm gonna train, and then she's going to the Muay Thai, and she's going off. You would think he killed her cat. Like, come on, like. And then the way she's handling it, she's throwing the roses down and cutting him off. I'm only gonna talk to you if you tell the truth. It's like, who's comfortable in that kind of conversation? Who's comfortable with that? With the way to have those kind of conversations. So for me, she probably, it just doesn't seem like she's that into him. And the friends, they're probably too scared to call her out because she overreacts and she'll probably start gaslighting and, it's like, come on. So I just feel like there's no one to really hold Morgan accountable, or for her to be like, oh, you know what, maybe I took it too far. I think people are too scared to tell her that, or there's no one around her that is willing to say that to her.
No truer words have been spoken. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's it. JR, you want to add? Unmute yourself, Kat.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree. There isn't anyone to hold her accountable. I mean, if she's not able to do it herself, first and foremost, then that's the real problem, though, isn't it? Because if you don't master yourself, if you don't regulate yourself, then expecting someone else to do it may be down to fortune that you meet someone, right? But there's therapists on this show, so they're allowing these things to continue. I'm sure they must get feedback on what's happening in the relationships. And my question is, at what point do they step in? Because, this is an experiment. Yes, it's also a relationship, though. And when you see things that are detrimental to the relationship happening, to the point where there's confrontation and aggression and I'm going to make sure you stay and watch me as I do. Like when you're getting all that type of stuff, the therapist needs to step in because this is getting out of hand now. It's going to descend into tit for tat, possibly. I don't think Ben's that type of guy, but I could be wrong. But yeah, they need to intervene. That's what they're there for. They're supposed to be trying to make these relationships work just like the couples are. But when they see that there's dysfunction between the couples and it's becoming too damaged, they should step in and arrange like a counseling session instead of a weekend break on a boat somewhere, Come sit down on the couch and talk about the issues and see if we can get you guys back on track.
I'm hearing that. That's real. And the experts have gone missing like they do every year for the last 5 or 6 years, man. They go missing like a quarterback in the game that doesn't get the ball to throw. I'm telling you, it's awful. It's sad to see. Like, honestly, it's so bad. Like, when we used to watch earlier seasons of Married at first sight. The experts will be involved. You'll be having one-to-ones. That's why Jamie and Elizabeth. Remember Jamie and Elizabeth when the girl that Elizabeth, the one that was throwing chairs around, the original Hurricane Katrina. She was the original one that was throwing chairs around, throwing tantrums, telling people to shut up and stuff. The only reason why her and Jamie made it through is because the experts actually were there and they were having one-to-one conversation, and we actually watched that one-to-one conversation that they had throughout the course of the season. So you can tell that it definitely works. So definitely. Experts, if they could be more involved, would love to see it. But once every 6 weeks or whatever they're doing is ridiculous. It's like having a manager that never turns up, man. Do you know what I mean? It sounds good at first until you realize that some people are taking an absolute micko without the manager being there. So yeah, it would help. Let me get Winter on. Hi Winter, how you doing, girl? You okay?
Hello, I'm well.
Yes, it's good to hear your voice again, baby.
How's everyone doing? I'm excited. I just got caught up on this.
This show is crazy. Listen, it is wild. It is wild. We're talking about obviously Morgan at the moment, and she had a conversation with her friend as well. So I wanted to get your kind of thoughts. What was your thoughts on Morgan and her talking to her friend? I almost said her mum again.
Isn't that like a code where you're not supposed to do that about certain things?
Well,
I'm just like, how old are we? We know better. We know better. Like I can't even. What do you anticipate is going to happen at that point? And I think we have to realize, like, I think someone was just saying it, like, yeah, it's an experiment, but it's still a marriage. Like you're supposed to be in a real relationship. So I think, it's always strange to notice behavior on this show. And you have to wonder if some people have kind of morphed into a character, possibly, or if this is editing. But we have to also, I don't know, it's just really strange. I'm like, you're adults. You signed up for this to be an adult that said, hey, I want to do this. I want to say I do to a stranger. But I just feel like a lot of people don't, I don't know if they take it all that seriously sometimes, or maybe they kind of underestimate the gravity of it. And then once they're in it, they kind of spiral and do things they wouldn't normally do. But I just thought that was a strange situation. I don't know how she would have expected that to go. I don't know. It's just crazy.
No, I'm hearing you now, Winter. I'm hearing you.
It's crazy.
All right. We're gonna bring that next clip. We're gonna bring that next clip for you guys as well. Let's bring the next clip. Sean says he's eating a snack. All right, cool.
Still do your homework, still dig, still ask questions, but come from, I'm going to trust you until I don't trust you. Versus you're going to have to earn trust. You have to...
Yes. So, Stacia, her mum was telling her about, the trust situation, because, we know how Stacia is with the trust. She finds it very difficult to trust, She's got our boy Nate saying that he's fallen in love. It's a song in the 90s. But the mum was trying to give her some game again. Once again, the mum is trying to drop that real game again once more, and it's the mum was quite impressive actually, because this is like second or third time she dropped some real game ones for her daughter. Hopefully, her daughter's kind of picking up the game, but we're probably asking a lot there. Gia, what's your thoughts to this, man? What's your thoughts to the situation that you're seeing?
Yeah, so I think the mum, like you said, was spitting some real game to her. I'm not sure if Stacia is receptive to it though, because she seems to be quite set in her ways and her personality, and doesn't seem to be as malleable, as flexible as she could be, because in her case, I think she's so used to going out there and doing everything for herself and being successful at it. So having this information from someone who knows her, like her mum, she should deep it more than from an outsider's perspective, in my opinion. Like, her mum's only going to look out for her in the best way that she thinks possible, right? So The fact that Stasia actually listened and broke down and got teared up about it, I hope she takes that advice and goes forward with it, you know.
Real spit. I hear that, bro. I hear that. Winter, what was your thoughts to the mom's advice?
I thought it was spot on, but I often have to wonder, like, the thought process too. And where are, like, do they go to therapy during this at all?
They're supposed to have at least some experts advice, but we rarely get to see it, if any.
I think she has a love addiction, because it's unrealistic to believe that some man you've literally met off the street, you know, and I know they go through a vetting process, but you guys understand my language, right? You met this dude off the street and you expect him to be head over heels. It's just not realistic. So to even have that expectation speaks to a deeper issue that needs to be addressed in on somebody's couch. And I believe in therapy, and I think it's a helpful tool, and I advocate for it, but she definitely has to dig deeper as to why that is the expectation with a man she's known for a good 30 days. You know what I mean? So, and if that, these things are edited sometimes. So we're talking like 3 or 4 weeks of knowing a stranger, and you're upset because you're not getting, you know, the emotional support from someone you're still getting to know. I mean, largely getting to know. So yeah, I think she probably struggles with love addiction. I see this often in my own community, so I can pick up on it fairly quickly. She has real tears over her mom having to explain something that is very basic. That was not contrived at all. So that's coming from a deeper place. That's coming from a deeper issue. So I would be willing to bet money on the fact that she probably has some sort of love addiction and struggles with the need to gain that approval from whoever she's in a relationship with fairly quickly, or she feels, you know, some kind of way. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm gonna channel my Ayanla tonight, and I'm gonna go with that. That's what I feel watching that.
We don't mind that too. We like a good Ayanla. Trust me, that was good. Definitely with that, man. I definitely hearing that 100%. Ludwin, what's your thoughts to this? What's your thoughts to Stasia's mom's advice in this particular scene and stuff?
I like the mom's advice. A lot of times, well, actually, I like the whole scab comment. Sorry about that. Scab, C-A-B. Because like the more you nitpick someone, the more you annoy them, the worse that it gets, right? No matter how many times you leave it alone, you always come back to it. It's kind of like those people, like they always bring back what you've always done wrong to them. No matter like if it was 2 years ago, 6 months ago, well, you always nobody will ever receive that well. You know, bringing back old news, old stuff will always, you know, hurt the next person because you never let it go. You know, I think in one of those cases, we may have to apply that whole forgive and forget. And I think it might take a while for her to get to that position to accept that I just need to let things just flow and not propagate or devise this plan for him to fall in love with me. If he does, great. And if he doesn't at the end by decision, then it's okay. No, nothing was lost because y'all didn't get to move in and him using you for your money. That's something that I think that's in the back of her mind too. So it's hard for me to accept someone who's 37 to be such a love strong woman. Like, I wonder how many relationships this woman has had to where she has ran these men off to sign up on the show to marry a stranger. And she's giving me puppy love. Like this is the kind of act you do in high school, not better yet, middle school. It's giving middle school. It's giving you passing the paper around. Do you like me? Yes or no? And why not? And I'm going to stalk you from class 1 to class 6 all day. Like, I'm going to, like, we have different lunches. I'm going to go to your lunch too. I'm going to sneak out, act like I'm going to the bathroom just to make you fall in love with me, because I want to, like, be around wherever you are. You need to love me. You need to love me. And it's a little sad to see on screen, and there's something deeper that we don't know. Like, she keeps crying a lot. Lady, you 37. Why are we crying so much? Why are we crying on national TV like every episode? I have yet to see one where she's like, oh my God, oh my God. We deserve love. I deserve love. Yeah, you do. But, like, chill. I love the mom for being so introspective and not, come at her negatively. So I like the pace of the conversation that she had with her mom, and I'm hoping that she take it to heart and not nag this man no more. But we saw something else later, but that's I'm gonna stay there.
That's cool. I'm hearing you. Sean, what was your thought on this scene here? Mom dropping game?
Yeah, I thought the mom gave the best advice that she could in that situation, right? Because Stasia is 37, just as Lidwin said, right? If she's so the mom can say what she wants to say and try to be a good sounding board, but I think from what I see from Stasia, she's so resolute. She's gonna do what she want to do anyway. Because you see what winds up happening. She's getting tattoos and signing post numps. We ain't even got past decision day. So the other interesting part that I think, and Nate said this in the last episode, I don't think she knows what she wants. It's quite confusing because she says she wants words, and then she said she wants actions. But then when he does either or, it's still not enough. So when somebody really hasn't uncovered what they want, and sometimes it's okay to just say, I'm not, you don't know. It's okay to not know. But to try to say and then you're just trying to convince somebody else that you know what you need and you know what you want, but then when they give it, that's not what you really want. Just relax. You're probably doing too much because you're overloaded. You're overloading yourself. You're overloading the person. And it's just quite evident because she wants all these things, right? So we go get tattoos. Oh, that means he's in love with me. That means the tattoo. That means we're going to be married forever. We're going to have this date on our arm forever. We're going to sign a post nump. Hello, you haven't even made it past decision day. It's like, ma'am, I just need you to figure it out. Figure out what I want, what you want, so that I can give it to you. Because it's frustrating. It's frustrating for me watching it. I can't imagine being in that spin cycle of constantly having to jump through hoops and reassure someone, trying to give them what they want, and they don't even know themselves, but they think they know. And that's what the danger is. She thinks she knows, but I don't think she knows.
I hear you on that. Let's move to the next clip. People want to add. Okay, JR and Winter. I think you two want to add. All right, JR and Winter, go for it.
Yeah, I was just going to second what Sean said. I think she's someone that she wants something, and then when she gets it, she's not satisfied. I don't think. I think, like you hear people shrinking their dating pool because they have too much criteria that needs to be satisfied for them to not feel like they're settling, right? I think she shrinks her happiness pool. She shrinks the ability for her to find happiness because she's so specific and rigid on the things that she wants, right? And when she gets them, like last episode, she was upset because he said that he rated her a 4 out of 10 in terms of how much he feels for her right now, right? 4 out of 10. He quickly changed that to he loves her, which is what she's been waiting to hear. Like you said, they've got tattoos now from on this episode, matching tattoos. The post-nut took place as well. So there's so many things that she's getting, and those are the things that she said she wants, but she's still not truly satisfied. She's not happy. She's not like, okay, I've got everything I want now. Now I can relax into the relationship. No, it seems like she's ready to keep moving that bar, and it's going to keep making it difficult for him, because he's going to be like, man, how much do I have to do, like, to make you happy? Like, nothing is hitting that mark. Like, what do I have to do? Is this going to be a constant stream of things, like goals that you tick off? The moment I do something for you, that gets ticked off, and then we go on to something else, and then you come up with 3 more. You're making it too difficult. Like, at this point, you've already found that you've got a level of attraction to the guy. You've also found that, in terms of compatibility, you're quite compatible, and he's also very adaptable to the things that you say you want and you need. So take your foot off the gas now, like, and relax and enjoy what you're getting in at this early stage in your relationship. Like Winter said, this is someone you didn't know until, like, you haven't known him until like 4 weeks or so. So at the rate that the relationship's progressed in terms of what she says she wants, I don't understand why she's not conceding more. Seems very one-sided.
Boy, I hear that. All right, appreciate y'all. Winter, you want to say something real quick? Go for it.
No, the whole tattoo thing, my thought is, like, how many people are walking around here with tattoos of their exes married to other people? I mean, it's just that's no indication of longevity at all. I think a lot of people probably are standing in a tattoo removal line for someone they thought they were going to go the distance with from a tattoo. Like, that's so juvenile. Like, it's so juvenile. She's got a lot of growing up to do. I don't know. I just have so many thoughts, but that's all. It tickled me. The tattoo was
cool.
Doing the most.
Yeah, the tattoo part was crazy. I can't even lie to you. I think I have a clip for that, so later on we'll talk about that actually as well, because that makes no sense to me, if I'm honest with you. Tattoos when we don't really know each other? Ugh, okay.
Regulate to know, like, if you're getting really frustrated, you're like,
I need to collect myself.
Exactly.
I need a moment.
He doesn't know how to do that.
Okay, yeah.
So I do it for him, and I'm like, I see that you're getting, let me give you a break. And then he'll come back and be like,
Sean, why are you shaking your head, boy?
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
She does what for who? What is she like? She regulates him? Like, come on. Like, that is just sad on so many levels. It's also a lot of gumption on her part to think she has that much control over this person that she just met 2 weeks ago. And she carries a bit of arrogance with her. And it's a lot of dangers, a lot of red flags for me when it comes to their relationship dynamic. It's very, very off-kilter. And as much as Justin has work to do, she's something else, because she can talk the talk. When somebody can talk the talk and everything sounds like they know what they're talking about, it just breeds manipulation, and that's the part that just concerns me. That comment, it just made me feel icky.
I'm hearing you on that, bro. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Winter, what's your thoughts of this? Alexis regulates Justin. What's your thoughts of this?
What a way to strip a man's manhood. I don't think that any man would feel okay with their lady saying that in their absence. I thought it was a belittling statement, actually. It just was distasteful. I come from the South, so we have a certain way, and I just feel like under no circumstances should a wife ever insult her husband behind his back. Never to his face, but definitely, behind his back is a different type of respect. And I have to agree with Sean. It just It was a bold statement, and she said it with such a straight face, which lets you know that she believes herself. She believes that she is his regulator. And it was just like, seriously, you just disrespected him. And to me, she spoke of him like he was her child. And that to me was definitely the disrespect more so than anything. So it was just a belittling comment. I don't know. The jury's still out on her. And I agree with Sean. She probably is hiding her own mess. Oftentimes when I find that people can always point out what's wrong and how they're doing this and regulating and they got all the answers, they usually are the most jacked up. So time will tell, but we'll see if we get into more of her junk. But that was just, I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't like it. It was distasteful. I just didn't like it. Rude.
I'm with you on that. A1, yeah. She a problem. She a problem. I like that. All right, cool. JR, what's your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, when she used the term regulator, I think she needs to replace that with emasculator, because that's what she seems to be doing. There's as many opportunities as she can to throw him under the bus in some way or disclose something about him that isn't particularly favorable, you know. Yeah, I agree with Winter. I think the reason why she talks so much about him is because it's a way to deflect from her own issues that she may. I don't even know if she's even cognitive of how she behaves and the things she does and the things she says, which is why I also think she has the mindset and the mannerisms that she does. So we've known from the start that she isn't particularly attracted to Justin at all. She's made no secret about that. And like I said, this repeated, I want to say emasculation, but talking down on him or just talking bad on him. And sometimes it's not even with any vim, like with any aggression. She's just calmly, like just putting out things about him. That's not good. And I don't see how she doesn't self-regulate and realize. I mean, she did show contrition on the after show, but that was after the fact. I mean, you've done it so many times. You should be aware now that he's brought it up to you as well. He said, look, you know, the way you've spoken to me in this occasion, the way you've handled it in this occasion, it's made me feel like X, Y, and Z. Man, she just seems to keep going. So her taking credit for regulating him, I'm not sure what world she lives, what world she's living in or what relationship she's in, but that doesn't take place. I think she likes to have this, like a sense of authority in a relationship, like she's trying to play a position where she's the firm one, she's the strong one, he's the unstable one. He does play into that though, because he's so emotional, right? But I think that this is a double-edged sword, because I think he's overshared. I think he's been too vulnerable, and that can often come across as weakness if you're tearing up about it. And he's cried a lot this season. So I can see why she feels like she's the stronger one, but that doesn't mean that you talk down or talk bad about him behind his back type thing. And especially when you know that the trouble that she's caused with Morgan and Bin is all about someone speaking about their partner behind their back. So again, there's a level of hypocrisy there too.
All right, bars and bars. All right, cool. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Ludwin. What's your thoughts, man? Alexis says she regulates Justin, regulates his emotions. You know what I'm saying? When he gets it, she regulates it. What's your thoughts?
Somebody said in the chat, Crystal said the emasculator, good name for a villain. It's kind of fitting, actually. So in some ways, I do believe the wife does manages the household in a way, but I don't think you should manage your man. That is taken a little bit to the extreme. And I'm seeing a lot of these women on the show is very masculine this season, So anytime you match the opposite man to be feminine nature to a masculine woman, sometimes the woman will try to walk all over that man. And I think that's slowly becoming in that relationship. I think if this goes further, I think she's slowly grooming this man to, well, in Creole they say "mashi ss," pretty much like you do what I say, and I'm a little scared for Justin. Now I do know that he tries to speak for himself, but what we call try is pretty much arguing back and forth and not necessarily talking like Ben talks. You know, Ben tends to be more straightforward without raising his voice. I think that's some of the things that maybe that's why they're friends. You know, one complements the other. But he can also learn that from Ben as well when it comes to voicing how you feel, but also try to convey your message without being too emotional or without lashing out. Because a lot of times, I think I said this last week too, we can't go from one end of the spectrum to the other. You know, where you're so quiet, where you don't speak up, based on what he said in the wedding episodes, where he was like his last ex kind of like walked all over him, and he's learning, well, he has learned by being by himself for a while that he's learned to speak up. However, we may have learned one way to speak up, and that's why we have you know, these discussion. Hopefully they see this later, but I don't know. But in this case, calling yourself regulating your man is kind of like, that's my child, like that's her son. Practically that's her son. Like she's raising this boy, you know what I'm saying? Like she give him like a little, hold on, bring this down a little bit. She's doing this to him. Okay, listen, I love you, you do as I say, but I love you. I don't like you today, go away. You know, it's like she's doing that. What's that? Pavlov, is it, with the dog, training the dog, kind of that way. So baby girl is crazy. I'm sorry, we can't say that, but my opinion, she cuckoo. That's it.
Oh, well, it's good to put in inverted commas just in case. It's good to put in inverted commas. Because when they come after asking questions, I'm like, yeah, it was Ludwig that said this, but okay, it was her talking
Come
loud on the
find
speakerphone.
me. Come find me. I'm okay with that.
Talking loud on that speakerphone, baby. All the smoke. All right, cool. Sean, go for it, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I totally understand that aspect, and you just see it's interesting, like you see their relationship dynamic, and like how she will like push him to say something, and then he's like, "Well, you don't understand anyway," and then she's like, "Well, no, say it," and then he gets frustrated, and then before you know it, he's like having a temper tantrum. They just have such a dangerous combination where he is so reactive, so in his feelings, and she appears stoic, right? But then it's like she, on the other hand, this episode, she talked about how he hurts her feelings. So they just have a very interesting dynamic. I think he has to learn how to communicate effectively. I don't know if Ben's going to be the one to teach him, though, Ludwin. I don't know if Ben can do it. But he definitely has to learn how to communicate effectively with her without losing his emotions. Because what'll happen is you'll have the right message, but delivered the wrong way. So it just gets lost. And then you'll be defending yourself in terms of the way you delivered the message, and you'll never get to really what the message was. So he could never really hold her accountable for having that conversation with Morgan about Ben. And it's those types of things. He'll always fight to address things with her. I still haven't heard her articulate, this is something I'm working on. Like, this is something that I got to do better, other than stay out of people's business, which that should be known, you know, but we all know common sense ain't common. But I haven't heard her say like, okay, this is what I'm doing differently, you know, based on what you've asked me, or this is a particular part of my relationships that I'm looking to work on outside of running. But she may not physically be running, but mentally she's running. She's setting up little traps for him, to fail, because he's going to fail, just like she did with Newton. Because after Newton's eye got nipped, she set him up again for Newton to be in his company and manage the medicine. And then he failed that test, so she's all over him again with that. Meanwhile, where is Maya? Where's Maya? Is she still in a concentration camp? Where is Maya? That's what I want to know. Where is Maya at? Because he's cuddling and canoodling with Newton all in the bed, and Maya is somewhere at the pound. And I'm really upset about that. That's bothering me.
I think Maya is with her his friends or his cousin. One of the two. We need Maya back in the house, though.
As for me, I don't care where Maya is, so I'm going to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? But free Maya still. That's my gang, my people, them. You get me saying? Yeah, if you know Maya, probably bit a few people in the way. But, free Maya still. You know what I mean? Why? If you want to say free your gangster friends, why can't we free Maya after she bit a few people and a few dogs in the eye? Not a problem still. Free Maya, yo. That's the hashtag, free Maya. Okay? All right?
Free Maya till it's backwards.
The free Maya till it's backwards. You know what I mean? So, yeah. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next clip. It was obviously to do with Stasia as well.
The other person is closed off.
You thought I was closed?
In some arenas, yeah.
Oh.
I'm over here telling you I'm about to move in with you. You're like, huh? Anybody can do that. Like, he was a...
Now, several things that happen in this clip. First and foremost, when obviously he talks about the fact that, hey, look, you know what? You dismissed me. And I thought, oh, great. He's talked about dismissive, that she's dismissing his point of view and maybe highlighting some behavior issues. And then he loses me with whatever comment he makes at the very end. I don't know if he called her a B word or what, but that's where he lost me. And I was like,
a-hole.
It was an a-hole. So she was being a bit of an a-hole. I was like, you were doing so great until that point. But I want to get you guys' thoughts. What's your thoughts on this scenario, this situation here between Stasia and Nate? What was your overall assessment? Winter, talk to me.
What an awkward conversation. It was such a weird conversation. And that ending, I said, oh goodness. Now, I hadn't paid attention, but I agree with Ludwin. The women are very masculine. Like you can tell even in that clip, just she's coming across like, I don't like the way she's looking at him. It just bothers me. Like, yeah. I don't know. I felt sorry for him. I feel like he's trying to prove himself to her a bit. And she ain't buying it. Like she's not buying what he's selling. She wants no part of it. I'm quite interested by how many of the women are not really into the men they're connected to. And it's oozing off of them very easily. I don't know. I haven't, this is, I don't know. I got nothing. I poor guy. Poor guy. Poor Tink. That's all I can say. Poor Tink. Bless his heart.
It's tight. Yeah, I definitely hear you on that. Thank you, Winner. Yeah. Ludwin, what was your thoughts on this? What was your thoughts? Talk to us.
I don't know, man. Nate is giving me the ick every time. He's giving me the ick every time. Realistically, I really don't see moving in together as a big deal when you married, right? I think it's a big deal if you were in a relationship, we're moving in together, like we're moving to that direction, but y'all are a married couple. However, having a man move in with me is not my way to go. I would not let a man move in with me. I'm moving in with you. But in order to do that, you need to have a home for me to come in. And apparently he has no home. And the moment, in my opinion, the moment a man come into a marriage without a home, without a house, the woman is going to lead him to water. There's no way around it. Like, this is her house. This is her castle. You live by my rules. you do as I say, practically, because this is my crib. Like, I can kick you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't buy this together. I can kick you out. You are not on my deed. You are not on any paperwork. This is my house. I don't care if you move in here and try to tell me what to do. No. So that power dynamic is going to be weird. So for you to already start cussing, oh, you want to cuss? Oh, you can't cuss in my house. You don't pay these bills in this house to be cussing me out. So I can already see the issues with that. Now, I know Stasa is trying to be a better woman because she's trying to listen to her mom, trying to be understanding. But I'm not gonna kiss a man who just cussed me out like seconds ago. I'm not doing that. You know, like
Why not?
No. Like, that's disrespectful. I don't care how you feel. Speak with your words, right? I'm sure over the years, people have to learn how to speak with others, but I'm not going to call my partner an a-hole, even though I might feel like you acting like one. But I'm on camera. I'm on national TV. I'm not going to, call a woman an a-hole on TV. That's just trash behavior. There's no respect there. And for her to also go along with that and not call it out either, sis, what we doing? Was the cunnilingus that great? Was the supper at night that great?
It's the dessert before dinner, Ludwin. Dessert before dinner.
I'm sorry. Was the dessert before dinner that great that you like, you know what? Maybe I want to test the water some more. Maybe I want to test the carrot. You know what I'm saying? Like, some women are willing to risk it all for the carrot sometimes, and I don't think she should do it. But I have a feeling she just might, because she want to have a baby. She want a man. She want to fall in love so bad. Ah, poor baby. That's it.
Thank you, Ludwin. Appreciate it. Wait, who hasn't spoken on this particular subject? Sorry. Sean, have I asked you already? Go for it. I knew I hadn't asked.
Yeah, I think this falls under the category of, if it goes unchecked, he's going to do it again. And for him to turn, and I'm sure there was some editing involved, whatever. But at the end of the day, we could have saved that love conversation for a whole nother scene, because let's address how you are that comfortable to call her an a-hole, right? And then when she asked him, he was like, well, I don't think, yeah, I did say it, but I don't think you meant to be that. So are you talking to her like she's your bro? Like, this is a lot of these guys this season, they're talking to their wife like that, like she's their bro. Like Ben, he does all this bro talk with Morgan, and I see more why Ben would do that with Morgan, because Morgan is definitely like a bro, and it's like, people have to understand, when you don't have a boundary, it's like, just like a dam is built for a reason. It's to keep the water at bay. When you keep letting the dam lower and lower and lower, the water's going to gush. So if you've set the barometer at week 4, that it's okay to talk to your wife and call her an a-hole, I don't care in what reference or how flippant it is, then what happens at week 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12 when she really pushes your buttons? Yeah, just can't do that. I think it was totally wrong. And then for him to now flip and be like, yeah, I think I'm loving you, I call cap. And I also think it's problematic that she continues to push it. That is the worst thing you can do, is if you tell somebody your expectation and then you're constantly revisiting that expectation with them and still like, I want to know if you love me. Do you love me? 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 Like, at what point do you know, and when will you know if it's real? So for me, that whole thing was really bothersome. I just think it was really bothersome that he talked like that. And it was bothersome that she accepted his I love you. It was bothersome that he said I love you, or I'm falling in love with you. It's just too much, you know? And I just feel like it is a recipe for you know, people are talking out of emotions and feelings and not true, like, this is where I'm this, you know, it's not like true. It's just from, oh, this is how I feel. The wind blows. Just like how Alexis, one hand, she's taking up, she loves him, and then she's taking it away. Nate will love her, and I'm sure at some moment she'll do something to annoy him, and he'll take it away. It's playing. They're playing pity pat.
Pity pat, pit pit pat. Appreciate that, Sean. Winter, what's your thoughts? State and Nasya. State and Nasya. State and Nasya. Stasia and Nate.
I feel like Sean is just giving us a sermon. We need to sow a seed at this point, you know? Like, I don't feel like there's anything left to add. And I love the point that he made about the dam. Like, you are basically approving this behavior, not knowing what you're approving by not addressing it. And it's totally unacceptable. So I really don't, I'm not going to add anything to that. It's just what it is. We'll let it stand.
Appreciate Winter. Joe, real quick, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I think like she may have seen it in jest this time because it wasn't said in an aggressive, a particularly heated argument or heated setting. But I have to say what Ludwig was saying about, you know, she's got her own house and she's pretty much setting the rules for him to follow, right? And she also seems to be in a rush to get things done. So he's not going to have the power dynamic that most people may be expecting him to have as a man. He's already conceding that by continuing to have a relationship with her, because the parameters she's set are for her to still maintain the dominant side of the relationship, if there is one. She's going to be providing the house. She's got the most finances because of her job. And it's going to be very difficult for her to meet a guy that earns more than she does. So, you know, her dating pool is largely going to consist of people who might end up in Nate's position. But yeah, so I think she will nip any disrespect in the bud very early if she took offense to it. I think this time she probably let it slide because it was in jest.
Yeah, 100%. All right, cool. I like it. Good breakdown, guys. Good breakdown. All right, let's shift it on. My next clip is the fight between Ben and Morgan. Yes.
Work this out. Figure it out.
The moment you start lying, I'm walking away.
Okay.
I find myself in this.
What was your thoughts to this, guys? What was your thoughts to this? Winter, you shake your head. Why?
Their whole dynamic irks me. I don't know. In that moment, I didn't feel like he was being very sincere, and she, you know, clearly was upset. I don't know. They're interesting to me. These couples, this is an interesting season. I don't know if anyone else has peeped that. I have like favorite seasons of this show, but this one is just different. And every couple has something unique. But this, I don't like them. I really don't. I don't like them. So I have nothing to add on them. Y'all can take this. I really don't care for them at all. I don't. And I really want to question the experts sometimes when they put people together. And this is the two that I really question. I question more than them two. I'm just going to be honest, but I don't know why they felt like this would be good, but I don't know. I got nothing. I ain't got nothing to add. I don't like them.
No worries at all. No worries at all. Ludwin, what's your thoughts?
Thank you. I have an issue when someone is yelling at me and yet want me to respond, but you don't give me time to respond. Like, make it make sense, you know? Like, you coming at me, word after word after word after word, and then you want me to respond, and then what I'm about to respond, you keep going and going and going and going. I'm like, if I was Ben, I would have walked off. I would have walked off and say, okay, not a problem. Bye. Because no, that's not what we're doing. Because I understand you're upset, but I feel like the whole thing happened like a full 2 days before. And she's been like marinating on it. She even slept separate, I believe, from him already. So you holding this in, talking to everybody but your husband. And then when it's time to talk to your husband, you yelling. It's so menacing. Like the boy men. Ben looks scared. Out of his mind, he's like, what is going on? I'm so confused. Why she's screaming at me? And I couldn't even get a word in. So anytime that you're in a situation where you can't get a word in, you just have to walk away and let them calm down, because the whole throwing the flowers on the floor, that was a little bit uncalled for. She's so dramatic. It's so childish. Like, you came to this cute little scenery and she did not come for peace. She wants problems always. This woman wants this woman wants problems always. You had time to talk this out with this man prior to coming to that scene, and she just actually, I think she likes to blow up on camera. That might be a thing, because I'm sure y'all in bed without cameras, you could have talked, you could have spoken to him. They have cameras in the house. However, you guys could have spoken without the camera crew around, right? You could have voiced your opinion and say, you know what, babe, I don't like what you did, da, 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 da. But you wanted to have this big blow up on camera. And I like that comment. Peace is scary for someone that used to chaos. I feel like she's, okay, toxic relationships. Her last boyfriend, right? She literally says he likes to fight for her. I feel like it was a very argumentative relationship, right? If you're not argumentative, she doesn't feel like you love her. If it's not constant argument, constant coming at each other, constant problems, she doesn't feel secure. And for Ben, who's so necessarily timid, but he's very self-assured. He looks like someone who knows who he is, right? He's not going to go to the extreme to yell out and lash out whenever he has an issue. He likes to talk about things like a grown-up, right? For someone who's 29 years old, he's very, well, 30 now because it's his birthday. But for someone who is 30 and so articulate, I feel like that's not what she expected to have. So she came at him wanting to fight. And when he didn't retaliate, and she had to calm down, because like he was like, okay, sure, let's talk about it, because he's not the fighting type. I think that's what she expect. Like, if I come at you, come at me back. Come at me, bro. That was the energy that she gives, and by the time she walked off, he didn't really like run off to her. You know what I'm saying? Because like he probably feels what's the word I'm looking for? He probably feel like she's a little hothead, and a lot of times you can't be a hothead with another hothead. So when she walked off, I'm happy that he didn't like run off after her like that. It took the camera crew to stop her from walking off, because you can't just give up unjust. I'm not saying it's a minuscule. However, you can't just full argue and say, I'm out. And there's where are the experts? Why is the camera crew helping? Why is the producer the ones helping? Why are they not on set? What is going on? That would be a great time for one of these people to be on set and have them have a session right away and not let things linger. And I understand why she's upset that he's talking to the other cast members. However, I don't remember Ben having that many friends. His best friend, his mom, right? So he may not feel like telling his mom every single thing. So the next kin is Tree, that he feels comfortable with to speak with. So that could be something where she would have to somewhat lean into consideration that relationship is building, versus she's so standoffish that she's not really building relationship with the other women either. So that's another situation right there where she oh my God, stress. Okay, stress. That's it.
Appreciate it, Ludwig. Thank you very much. Bars. All right, cool. Appreciate it. JR, what's your thoughts to this? Just watching that clip back again. What's your thoughts?
Right. So I think Bin's in a little bit of a tough situation, because he is in a process with someone who is quite. I'm not sure if I'd use the word controlling, but she's very, very defensive, and she's also got a strong personality too, right? And let's be real, it seems like she's applying some of her MMA strategies in her relationship. So it's like when they're going, she expects him to combat her, and then she's trying to counter with that finishing blow, right? So that whole episode that with the flowers, that whole scene with the flowers, to me, that was her grandstanding. That was her saying, okay, let's talk. So they meet up to talk. So he's kind of thinking, okay, we can talk about this and possibly resolve it. And then, man, she just turns on the waterworks and then throws down the flowers. And then, like Ludwig said, expects him to chase after her. He did the right thing by not doing it, because she needs to regulate herself. It shouldn't be him having to follow her and say, look, this is what you're not supposed to do. Because it's going to create more of a combative environment. She doesn't strike me as the type of person that's going to take that type of information and apply it, right? She's going to come back at him and say, oh, well, you did this, or if this all started because you went and had conversations with Justin. And, she, like she said, she's always going to hold it against him. So that's why I think he's in a very tight situation. I agree as well with Ludwig when she says, where are the experts? Because the manipulation that she's performing on him, like if he wasn't so assured of himself and so confident in himself, this is the type of stuff that would break someone down mentally and start to really make them have a negative view on themselves and their relationship, right? They'll probably second guess themselves a lot. So, yeah, this scene was quite telling for me, because it showed me that if he puts even a foot wrong, she's likely to blow up over it and not let him live it down. She's always going to hold it against him. And then the final thing I wanted to add is, when this is how she is on camera, right? When the camera stop rolling and they potentially have their relationship going forward, if they do choose each other, man, I hinted at it before, but she's a very skilled fighter. She does MMA, right? This verbal violence, and the way she views him, I would hate to see that turn into physical violence. So I definitely think that the experts need to step in and try to let her see the error of how she's going about things.
Appreciate it, boss. I'll hear you. Thank you. Sean, go for it.
Yeah, if y'all remember, Pastor Cal came with his socks and sat down and talked with them right after the honeymoon, when she was all uptight about him supposedly betraying her trust. I think the experts, not that, listen, I'm not going to be the first one to say the experts do a phenomenal job or not or whatever. But it's going to be very hard for somebody like Morgan, who already has her mind so already made up about what happened and how things transpired. She has the story built. She's got the beginning, the middle, the end already built in. So she's already determined what she feels like the outcome is going to be. So unless Ben does everything right, which he never will because he's a human, there's no way that he's going to be able to get back in her good graces. And I think she probably really doesn't like him. And from the looks of it, he really don't like her. So he should probably just count his lucky stars. Don't even, he should be the new Chris from last season with Alyssa, and just make today decision day and just go ahead and move on, because there's nothing that he's going to do. She's always going to revisit the greatest events. Anything that he does to try to articulate himself is never going to be enough. If the experts come in and try to tell her she's going to play victim, but he betrayed me and then he talked about me, it's never going to be, it's hard when somebody has all that ammunition built up to get them to calm down. Just need to leave her on and let her move on. That's what I think. Just like Winter said, I'm over it. There's nothing that he can do. He's going to breathe wrong next week. That's it. That's it. He's the worst ever. I'm done. So go ahead. Just be on your way, Morgan. Lurch on and be free. My thought.
Hearing you on that. 100%. All right, cool.
Oh, we quiet now, huh?
Am I almost done?
I was saying, thank you. I was saying, it's crazy. We've gone from 4 out of 10 to if I ever fall in love. You know what I mean? I'm literally falling for you. And I said this last week. I said, like, 1 minute he was falling in love with her on the honeymoon. Now he's a 4 out of 10. Now he's back to falling in love with her. There is no consistency with his brother right now. Yeah, and I don't particularly like that. I don't particularly like that from a perspective. I think it just leaves. The other person in a bit of a disarray a little bit as well, be on the track, stay on the track, you know what I'm saying? But he just be literally just moving his feelings around whenever he feels like it, and I don't know how stable that is for me. That's not stable. But the tattoos part, matching tattoos, I want to know what you guys' thoughts are. Matching tattoos, matching tattoos, bro. Okay. Matching tattoos. So I want to get you guys' thoughts as well. Give me your thoughts as well on this one. Matching tattoos. Winter, why are you laughing?
I cannot not judge because I have done something this stupid. It just takes me back.
Oh, girl, tell us a story. What happened to you? Why did you end up getting matching tattoos?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Just the valley of bad decisions. But I did do a tattoo. Oh gosh, thank God it's not seen, but I don't know what we think in the heat of the moments as humans sometimes. I can't go and undo it. It's done. But just seeing this was triggering for me. So serious.
Was it in your teens, 20s, Winter? Come on.
It was not in my teens, 20s. I was too old to be making that type of decision soberly and consciously and without any smoking to have indicated that was a wise decision. Like, I don't know, Kojo.
It's a safe place, Winter. It's a safe place.
It's a safe place.
What is
It's not a safe place.
Yeah.
What is the tattoo?
It's YouTube. And
Don't worry about that, baby.
We're not judging you. What is it though? Is it a picture of something or is
it's
it a
not
word?
a picture. It is a date, actually.
Oh, okay.
Ah!
It is a date.
Okay,
And
that's not too
I can't
bad.
even blame it on the alcohol. There was no alcohol. We were not drunk. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning because the place did it when they were closed. So we were like private clients and got these tattoos done. It's just dumb stuff. I do not know why I waited so late in life to be dumb, but charge it to the game. You guys watch me on the show. It wasn't the only dumb decision I made. So I don't know, y'all.
It's all right. It's okay. It's just a date, so you can change what the date means.
Well, I feel like it's mostly faded, so I feel like God has had mercy on me with it.
Amen.
So it's not really noticeable and I can cover it up. So no one would know that I have it unless I share. But watching this clip, like all I could do was like cry laughing because I'm like, man, triggered.
What made you get the matching tattoos?
I don't know. I don't know. Spur of the moment, feeling inspired. Yeah, we're in this together. Let's do it. And
something made you something was going really well in that relationship that led you down a path to just be so free.
Yeah, well.
Say less. You wasn't having an Alexis problem, huh?
No, I cannot share Alexis's sentiments at all.
You know what?
Was it the carrot?
When you get drunk on the, that's what happens, baby. Okay, the lash is strong.
Ridiculous. Somebody said it was my command.
It's a safe space, baby. Tell us your stories.
Gosh, y'all, I don't know why adults do this. Sometimes I feel like when certain parts of our brains are triggered and things are on point, we will do crazy things. So I don't know, craziness. But yeah, would I do it again? No, but it's done now. Let me tell you, y'all. I always give these jaw-dropping admissions on your YouTubes. I don't know why I do this, but anyway, it's late. Prayerfully, nobody sees this.
That's why.
Mom, I'm sorry. If you're watching this, she follows you. Oh God, Candace, don't kill me. I did 2 of them. We did 2.
Wait, oh no, you did 2 of them at a time. You mean?
No, within like tattoos. 2 weeks of each other. We did
okay,
2.
no. Okay, I thought you meant like 2 different
dates?
people.
Well, one was a date. What was the other one?
What was that, initials?
We invested at this point.
Yes, it definitely was initials.
Ah, he got the initials, huh? Oh, he was. All right, we get it.
It's not as bad as his. He has like my whole name on him. Like,
oh wow.
wow. Yeah. So I was smart and did initials in Chinese letters.
Okay.
Oh
so
boy.
No one will know. That could be the number 4 on King Walk's menu. Nobody will ever know.
But yeah, he
Nobody's
has my
gonna know.
whole name.
Who's
And
gonna know?
yeah, well.
The first and the last, or just the first?
My name?
Yeah.
Just my first name.
Okay, so he can spin that. He could be
He
like,
can spin
"What's
that winter,
my favorite
summer."
season?" It's
Good
like,
luck.
"What's my favorite time of the year?"
Yeah.
Good luck with that. But yeah, goodness. It's a way to finesse the system, you know, like
it is.
Chinese letters. If it ever goes wrong, you could be like, "Oh no, that says love or respect."
You're only fooling us, you're not fooling the Chinese people, but you're fooling us. That's fine. No worries.
Oh gosh. So anyway, I will just say that moment was very triggering for me, and I can understand why people do dumb things in the spur of the moment. But yeah, I can't judge them. I have no room to judge.
No worries.
Well, let's just you knew him for more than 4 weeks, though.
Oh yeah, years.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Fair
Years.
Enough. All right. I appreciate you sharing that, Winter. Thank you. Safe space.
Okay, safe space.
Safe space. All right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I'll tell my own story. Don't worry. But yes. Anyone else thoughts on matching tattoo gate? You know, what was your thoughts on matching tattoo? JR, you got a matching tattoo. You know, what was thoughts around old boy and old girl?
Yeah, definitely no matching tattoo for me. But I think it's way too soon. You know, as we've spoken about, there's so many different expectations that he has to live up to, and the conditions for their relationship at the moment. Bearing in mind it's the early stages, like I said, it seems okay, but there's still a lot of work to do. I think maybe if they'd made it to like the first year, like a first year anniversary tattoo, that would have been more appropriate, but not 1 month. That's crazy. And tattoos may last longer than a relationship does. So the sentiment may have been good. You know, something to bind them together, bond. You know, I don't know if they give each other daps with the matching tattoo on the wrist, like wham, like what you saying. But for me, it's too early, man. They could have done something else. It's only been a month or so. So, yeah. Man, I can't think of anything that is kind of that level of how can I put it? That level of I wouldn't even say it's romantic, but yeah, I just think that I can see the sentiment. You want to do something to bind you together, bond you together, make you feel closer, show that your relationship's working. But yeah, that's not it for me. That's not it. It costs too much to do over, and it's too painful. So yeah, not for me.
I hear that. So wait, JR, quick question. You ever thought about it though? You ever thought about like getting like, you know, a matching tattoo or getting a tattoo of a girl's name on you? You ever thought about it?
Not for a single second. Not even for a nanosecond. It's too permanent, man. I wouldn't do that. If I'm gonna get a tattoo, maybe once I have a family, then I might do that because that's long lasting, right? But well, I want it to be long lasting, but not for a relationship this soon. No way, not at all.
Alright, yeah, cool. I hear you. Sean, what are you saying?
Yeah, no, I've never done that. It's funny that my ex-wife proposed it at one time when we were married. She was like, "Oh, we should get tattoos." And I don't want to call it a premonition, but I definitely declined. I declined, you know. But I don't know that I would do that now. I don't know that I would do that now. And it's not because of the permanency. It's just I'm not a big fan of tattoos, you know. So maybe my kids, if I had kids one day, which God willing I will, I might do something, discreet with my kids, either date of birth or something referencing them. But I don't think anything else. And listen, this is one of those situations where I think my opinion is evolving the more and more we talked about it. And I looked at the tattoos. They're nice, they're discreet. If it means it might be one of those things. He has tattoos already. So I think also that's another thing that's important, right? She has tattoos, he has tattoos. So if anybody knows people that have tattoos, you rarely find a person that has tattoos that just has one. And sometimes they may have several, small tattoos, or they have a sleeve or whatever. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think if I had a tattoo before, if I was a tattoo person, and my wife came to me and said, "Let's get tattoos," I probably would be more open to it. Because it's one of those things like, are we going to fight about this? If this is something that really means something to you, I already have tattoos. It's not a big deal to me. Then maybe. Maybe. But I think it's a little premature nonetheless. I think we should have saved it at least to after decision day. I think that might have been nice, a nice, just reminder we made it past the process. And I just feel like Stassi is just rushing to cram everything in before decision day, excuse me. She wants the post nump, she wants the tattoo, she wants the love, she wants everything in such a concise time frame. And I feel like she's planning it out, and you can't do that. This isn't an investment property. This isn't a business and an LLC that you're managing. This is your love life and a relationship where there's two people that have to coexist. And I think she is very controlling. And you can't control that because it's gonna fall to pieces, and you're gonna constrain somebody. So I think that's what Nate is starting to feel. Although I definitely, again, don't agree with him calling her that name, but I think he's just feeling controlled. He's feeling like in a pressure cooker, and that's not good for anybody.
100% hear you. 100% hear you. Yep, I'm there. Ludwin, tattoo or not to be? Tattoo or not tattoo? That is the question.
Back in the day, I used to want a tattoo. Actually, I wanted to have similar tattoo to Cardi B. From the back, across the back, down to the thigh like she does. I wanted
what?
it like that. I wanted of like hibiscus flower.
Okay.
So I went like all over my back, and then I realized how much pain that is, and I said, "Nah, I'm straight." So I have no issues with tattoos. I have friends who have tattoos. I just feel like the tattoo was a little too much for 4 weeks, especially when they not agreeing on a lot of things. If it was like the Brianna and Vincent relationship, then I'll probably get it because they actually liked each other during that season. But for this one, I feel like it was a little bit too rushed, in my opinion.
So for you wouldn't get a matching tattoo?
No. Mm-mm.
Not even Roman numerals? Not even Chinese?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No? Not algebra? Hieroglyphics?
No tattoos at all. Not even henna. I just no.
Okay.
I don't see any carrot to make me want to do that. So.
Not yet. Right,
yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah. Nice.
Any what?
Carrot.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about diamonds and carat weight, right? That's what you talking about?
Both of them.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, you wild. Oh, you wild. But I definitely hear you. I definitely hear you.
The other one.
I definitely hear you. Listen, I think when I was the last one I considered that was when I was 18. I think one of my first relationships ever. I was considering it, but you know what? I'll be honest with you. I weren't considering it because we're in a good place. I was considering it because we're in a bad place. It was like, we were, both, when you're young and you're stupid. You know what I mean? Both parties are trying to literally save the relationship. You're trying everything. Like, we'll get matching tattoos of each other's name on our bodies, whatever. To kind of show that we still love each other, kind of thing. And to be honest, I remember I agreed to it, and I said I agreed to it outwardly, but inwardly I said I am not gonna do this. And I think she kind of knew by the energy that eventually I wasn't gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? I have done some other wild things, maybe not as permanent. I've done initials as a haircut. When I was younger, did that. One day I came in with the initial of the girl that I liked. Bang! It worked. I don't know about you guys, but listen, the cheese works for me. Okay, won't be doing that again. That's for sure. But matching tattoos. I just think to myself, it has been 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks or 4 weeks, however long they've known each other for now, and you're getting matching tattoos. It is hella premature. Hella premature. Especially when it was, we just a minute ago, it was 4 out of 10. And now we're kind of falling in love. We're not even in love. He's kind of falling in love. And what made you guys feel so confident to get matching tattoos? And that for me is trauma responses. Like that for me is like that you have, with all the experience of relationship that you guys have done together, done separately before you come to this place and point in time, the fact that you can be together for like almost 3 weeks, it's so quick and so exciting that you've missed the fact that you're not even solidified in this relationship just yet. You know what I mean? So a tattoo, and I think Sean, you said it as well, tattoos would have been best coming after the 8 weeks. And even after 8 weeks, let's be honest, some couples stay and they don't make it because, that 8 weeks is not necessarily anything. It's just a marker. So the fact that they had the matching tattoos, I was concerned. I was like, well, I hope this works out. But, I think this is an investment that didn't need to be made, to be honest. I think we could have waited a little bit longer, had a bit of longevity behind us, had a little bit of a foundation behind us, and a few years behind us as well before we got matching tattoos. This is all excitement and the furrows of youth, kind of exuberance. You know what I mean? In terms of like, oh, I like you, you like me, and the desperation to. I think both of them have a desperation to be loved. Right, they both have a desperation to be loved because obviously he's been through some stuff in terms of his mother abandonment, and she's been through some stuff, father abandonment. So yeah, I think they're just both just kind of searching for love out of these situations, because it would definitely not be me that would be doing matching tattoos. What matching tattoos? Y'all wild for that. All right, cool. Let's. What was this clip? Is this the right clip I got? I hope
to be married. I'm gonna keep it together, don't worry. I struggle when you say things like, I wasn't sure I could be a husband.
I wanna know what you guys thought about Kristen calling out Mitch on the table. So she actually called him out. It was like, yo, listen, dog, none of the stuff that you've been doing beforehand, I need you to fix up. But she was like basically saying, I feel like I'm losing myself. I kind of wish that she said this. I wish she said this behind the scenes first, rather than actually coming up to the table. Like it almost felt like an ambush. But I appreciate the fact she communicated it very, very well. She wasn't rude with it, and Mitch also done a good job of receiving it as well. But I would have just wished it would have been behind closed doors that you guys discussed that issue first and then come to the foreground. But again, certain things happen at the time you can't really control all the way. But I want to get you guys' thoughts. What your thoughts on Kristen? What's your thoughts on Kristen on this episode, eh? Kristen and Mitch. Don't all run to answer this question. Damn. That bad? Y'all don't have no thoughts on that?
You pick. Whoever flinches goes first.
Whoever flinches. JR be flinching. JR!
Yo, what are you trying to say, Kojo?
I ain't saying nothing.
So yeah, we didn't see much of them on this episode, right? They did yoga and things like that. But for me, I came away from this episode really thinking that Mitch doesn't know what he has. Like, he's an oddball. He's a goofy guy, right? But we know that off key. But I feel that I feel like Kristen is a good match for so many other guys that have probably come on this show before, because she seems to want to try and make a relationship work in a way which isn't abusive or toxic or crazy, or she doesn't wild out or flip out. She just says how she feels, and then she also receives what the person is saying to her, right? So I think she's one of the brightest elements on this season. So I have to commend her for that. And with the other cast members to choose from, obviously, that we view, obviously she's going to stand out for those qualities. So yeah, I definitely agree with JW. She does deserve a good man. She deserves, because she puts the work in to try and make the relationship work, right? I think she needs that reciprocity, and Mitch is unfortunately paired with her, and I've given him the nickname the Toxic Crusader because, man, I don't know if you remember the movie back in the day, the Toxic Crusader. Like, he's all about environment and planets and all this, but he's got an element of, I want to say, toxicity to him, which is very frustrating to watch, and it must be very crazy for her to deal with every day. It must be very draining, but she does it. And yeah, so for this particular scene, I liked the fact that she's able to speak her mind, and he's receptive to it. And we've talked about how his attraction level is to her at the beginning. I think gradually he's warming up to it, but it's a long thawing out process. He's stuck in caveman, doing whatever he wants to do, and for the environment and all the other things that he cares about. I just hope that she's able to still be the same person once this experiment is over, because I don't see them lasting. But I hope she isn't too disheartened about this particular relationship where she goes and takes it into another one, all hurt and scarred. If she continues to be like this, then I think she'll have good relationship prospects going forward.
Appreciate you. I hear you, and definitely I agree with your point when it says about Kristen. I need to do a video on it. Kristen is a shining example of how to communicate very effectively and clearly about how you feel. I just feel like she always gives a very good breakdown of how she's feeling, and does it in a way which is just like, hey, look, this is how I'm feeling, this is what you've done, and when she feels like something's gone wrong, she's like, hey, look, do you know what, you said this and this is how it made me feel. And I just feel like it's very clear, direct communication. I think that also helps Mitch fully understand where she's coming from. And shout out to Mitch as well, because Mitch is actually also receiving it very well as well. He's not just like firing off the shots or, like dismissing her. So I gotta give a shout out to both these two for the way they communicate. Whether it will last long, I don't know, be a different story. But definitely love the way they communicate. As well. So yeah, Winter, what's your thoughts on to Kristen, in that scene, talking about how she felt?
So I actually believe it should have been done in private, because it was such a good conversation for them as a couple to discuss something. Like, it was very important to discuss and bring up. I just wish it kind of was just between them and not in front of the group, because that's just, to me, kind of I don't know, a little convoluted with, everyone kind of weighing in on their different situations. So I wish they had done it in private, but I did like the way she handled it. It was very honest. She was very sincere about, how he was making her feel in that moment. So I liked I don't like Kristen. Let me just say that, but I like the way that she communicated in that moment. I give her an A, and I like how he handled it, in response. He didn't get defensive or he heard her out. And so it was very positive. Versus some of the other couples that I feel like have I call it toxic tennis. They have toxic tennis matches, just the back and forth is toxic. I like the way this conversation went. I just felt like it should have been private and not handled amongst the group. So I almost wish that production would kind of navigate some of this stuff a little better. And I know it's for drama and all that stuff, but you know, I feel like you got to kind of show good private couple conversations that are healthy as well to kind of move a relationship forward. So I liked it. I liked everything about the conversation and thought it was a healthy discussion to bring up and a healthy concern. You know, I think we all have those points in relationships that we've been in where we have to address something that really bothers us. She can just, somebody said, why don't you like Kristen? She could be a little annoying. She just can't be. She comes across a little annoying to me. But that's all. I just don't care for her. I have my favorites in all of these shows. So I have people that I like, I have people I just don't care for. So she can just definitely come across a little annoying. So yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I thought it was solid.
I appreciate it. Bang, bang. All right. I like it. Thanks, Winter. Ludwin, what's your thoughts? Christian, her telling us about how she feels. What's your thoughts?
I thought you were going to Sean for a second. I actually don't remember that conversation. I feel bad.
Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry. No, don't worry. I got you.
To be married. I'm gonna keep it together, don't worry. I struggle when you say things like, I wasn't sure I could be a husband.
She spoke about how she's losing herself and, you know, she feels like, you know, she's basically, you know, she's being erased by his his strong boundaries of environmentalism and stuff like that. And she's basically saying that she needs to be true to herself. She can't be all the way, you know? What's your thoughts to Christians?
I know somebody said, like, Ben should have said, this is my decision day. I'm waiting for Kristen to say that. Like, I'm waiting for her to be like, you know what? This man is not my person, and I'm just not gonna do this. Because she has sense. She has sense. But her Pick Misha vibe is not letting her. And it's annoying. Like Winter said, it's so annoying. It's like, girl, you know this man is out of his mind. But yet she wants to be so married. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. I know she wants to be married. She deserves a good man, but not that man. Not him. You're gonna like she's reasonable. She's a great communicator. However, how great communication is, she's not leaving. It's kind of like the man can tell you, I don't like you like that. But why you don't like me though? Like, I'm great on this. No, I don't really like you like that. I'm here with you. I'm on a show. I'm going to be cordial. I'm going to do my best because I've never been in a relationship before. However, Mitch knows that's not his woman. And I know deep down inside she knows that's not her man. But she want to make it work so bad. You know what? The same with Stasha. Women who gets up in age do think that their options are thinning out. So she's probably trying to make the best of what she can. Maybe she doesn't believe that love is truly out there for her. I think she's like, what, 34? So it may be her scarcity mindset trying to make it work with Mitch. I don't know why, because Mitch is a diva. And we can't have, actually, let me not say that. Mitch is a broke diva, which doesn't make any sense. you can't be a diva and then you want to be a minimalist, and you don't want to have your wife have dreams, and he's not husband material. Like, we knew this. I feel like he may have told her this during honeymoon, that he hasn't been in a long-term relationship in a while. So for that, for her to start boohoo crying and say, he's not husband materials. Yeah, we know that. Sis, you know that too, deep inside. Why is you here? Why are you here this long? You have common sense. Your 8-year relationship didn't show you proof, ma'am. Like, you spent so much money, you kept 8 years. I'm sure in the middle of these 8 years, she knew that man was not good for her. But yet she kept going along with it because she's so forthcoming. She's so understanding. A lot of times, a lot of women get taken advantage of because they're so understanding. They get walked over. How it doesn't matter how smart you are, how intelligent you are, but if you don't have a sense of self, you will stay somewhere where you should not be. And that was another thing that scared me when she mentioned she was with 8 years and she paid for her own wedding. The Pygmisha is deep with this woman. She wants to be a wife, which is not a bad thing, but at what cost? We can tell she's not happy. She tries, like, she wakes up and be on camera and kissing him. Girl, you don't like this man? Why are you kissing up on him? You know he don't wash his dishes. Why are we all so lovey-dovey? Make it make sense, sis. You crying at the table? Everybody's crying on this season. Like, I'm actually, Ben hasn't cried yet, but everybody crying on this season. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. That's it.
We appreciate you, sis. You tired. I hear you.
That was Ludwin's TED Talk rant.
By Ludwin. No worries. Go for it, Sean. You want to say something?
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like Kristen's getting so much heat. I like Kristen. She's growing on me, you know? Aw, poor Kristen. Woo woo. Well, I mean, I'm glad that she said something to him. I really am. I really think she needed to say something to him. And I think this was her first foray into asserting herself. And you know, sometimes people find a way and they need that courage from having others around to be able to assert themselves. And I think that's the confidence and courage that she needed in that moment, to just be able to say how she's really felt along the way. So I'm all for having a private conversation. But I guess maybe the petty in me just feels like Mitch deserved it, because he's just been a lot of tantrums, a lot of outbursts. You know, he showed out with the whole matching shirt thing. You know, he made that a bigger deal than it needed to be. He showed out with the beard thing. He didn't feel bad about embarrassing that poor hairstylist when she gave him a nice haircut and he was ripping and crying, you know. So I think maybe he needed a little bit of the you know, a little bit of the public conversation to help them understand. And I think sometimes it's good. Like, when I was married, sometimes we would be in a group setting and we would, you know, each couple would share like little things, and it softened the blow, because sometimes you would hear something that, you know, one of my other friends, he was going through with his wife and it was similar, or she said something and I was like, oh, or his wife would say something and I got something from it. So I think in safe spaces with people, especially them in this dynamic, I think it was okay, right? I think it was okay. But under normal circumstances, I think, you definitely still do need to, exercise a little bit of caution with what you share and with who you share it with. And I think I'll give Mitch some credit. He definitely took it well. Let's see if he really takes it and does something about it. Because he took the information. Now, what is he going to do about it? Is he going to be more intentional about the way he treats Kristen? Is he going to be more respectful of her feelings? Is he going to be more inclusive of her ideas and what she wants for the future in their marriage? That's going to be the real test.
I hear you on that, bro. You know what I love though? I think first and foremost, I agree with Winter and a couple of you guys as well. Like, I don't think the conversation should have been done in public, because I felt like she had a whole conversation that they hadn't really had behind the scenes yet. But Mitch did a great job of receiving it, so I appreciate the fact that he also did a great job of receiving her feelings. Maybe because obviously he's heard that particular rant before. She's had those kind of feelings before. It wasn't necessarily out the gate new, so he could take it on. But yeah, these two, it's interesting because he's such an extreme on his environmentalism, which again, I always say this, that extreme on environmentalism requires you to be single. It's that simple. Either you're single or you need someone else who has the same drive as you for environmentalism. It's a very rarity that you're gonna get that. So those type of people end up being single because there's no one who can match their desire for what they're looking to do. But with Kristen and Mitch, I really do feel like they have great conversation where they speak some realness in terms of their communication. But then just part of me goes, I just don't think they're gonna last because, like you said, Ludwin, there's too much people pleasing, too much pick me behavior where it's like anything goes for Kristen. I think she's finding her voice now though, and I think she's finding her feet now. So maybe that will start to change. But yeah, it was starting to look a bit scary for them, at points, because I was thinking to myself, sis, what are you not doing? You know what I mean? Like, Kristen, what are you doing? Why are you trying to be almost begging? That's not cute. But hey ho, I like them on this part of the episode anyway. All right, let's last two clips. Last two clips even. I got last two clips. This the last one.
I'm about to eat Dre's food if he doesn't eat it. Because
You want his? Because he's pouting right now.
I'm not pouting. I just ain't got nothing to say.
Talk about warfare, blood. The warfare's real, cuz you see them things there, yeah? When your girl calls you out like that and said he's pouting like that, the ones there where your girl calls you out on your masculinity right in front of everybody. My oh my, Alexis. My oh my. What are you guys? What you got? Oh, Sean's mic's open, ready to go. Go for it then.
Yeah, don't play with my food first and foremost. Don't be offering up my good plate. I'm gonna need you to relax. And I know that is, something that gets people going. Tell somebody to calm down, relax. I'd be like, yo, you need to relax. You're doing too much right now. Because first of all, calling me out, she always looks for a reason to cut him down. He was giving his little 2-bit opinion about Mitch. She cut him down then, looked, non-verbally, which I'm so glad that Rudy called her out on the after party about that, because she tried to play and be like, I didn't say anything. Rudy was like, nah, but your body language spoke volumes. And she is constantly, cutting him down. So that part, I just feel like she needs to be cautious of that, because that's why that little dynamic that they have about, certain things ain't moving the way they're supposed to move. Some of it could be him, but some of it could just be that energy. If I constantly feel like you're mothering me, it's hard for me to feel the attraction, right? And she's always mothering him. And then he falls into the sulky child. So it's like so frustrating to watch their interactions. So frustrating. She's always doing what she said, right? She's like, going to, what did she say? She's going to regulate him. So she's regulating him again, Take his food. He's pouting.
She irks my entire life. Like, I'm so serious. Like, she literally irks me, yo. I can't. She is literally frustrating to watch. And at some point you want to believe she's not really cognizant, but I honestly believe she knows what she's doing. She just does not like this guy. And to me it's almost borderline it's just ugly. Like I don't know. It just that whole it's when she kind of flips over into there's the mothering, but there's a point where she definitely is taking a dig. She is definitely digging at this dude. And he does kind of settle into the hurt feelings, like maybe he got picked on in school or something, but he settles into that and doesn't really come back at her. But I want him to like say something to her one good time that'll just shut her up, because I just can't take her. I can't. I feel like she's the type of person that's gotten away with this behavior for a really long time, and no one has ever checked her appropriately. It's just at some point I want somebody in that group to be like, you are too much. And the way you treat him, whether you feel like it's merited or not, it's just unacceptable. So I just can't. Anytime I don't know, it's something, I can't put my finger on it. I know she doesn't like him. That's very clear. She doesn't like him. She's not attracted to him. There's nothing. And I want to say it's because she feels like he's not manly enough for her. But I wanted to say this earlier. We have to be really careful in this day and age, because we have a lot more emotional intelligence than we used to have. And I feel like we spend so much time and effort and energy these days trying to encourage men to be more in touch with their emotions. Yet when we find a man that may be hypersensitive or what we deem as overly emotional, then unfortunately the perception is that he is weak. It may mean that he may need to address how to control those emotions more healthily, but still he's in touch with them, which is a lot more than we can say for a lot of men who struggle because they don't want the connotation of weakness. I don't then think it is acceptable for a woman like her to take advantage of the fact that he is hypersensitive. Why do you have to belittle him for that? So it just bugs me. I don't know. It's almost like she's picking on it, like she knows he's hypersensitive. And so she goes for it every single time. And at some point you really got to wonder, like, what's the objective at the end of the day? We know he's hypersensitive. We know he may be a little bit more in touch with his feelings than most, but why do you got to dig at it? I just feel like it's at this point she's being nasty. And if you don't want to be with him, just say, hey, this ain't going to work. I'm not attracted. You're not the person for me. I know I'm not going to choose you when we have decision day. Let's just make the best of this experience. I feel like she's just discounting them all together. Even if they don't walk away husband and wife, at least walk away with some semblance of respect for a person. But to me, she's discounting him off the bat and refuses to respect him just because she deems him as weak as a man. And I can't get with it. It really irritates my whole soul. So I'm done. That's my soapbox for tonight. But I don't like her in the way she treats him.
I'm hearing you 100%, baby. Okay, cool. I'm liking it. Shoot. Ludwin, talk to me. Shoot.
All right. Where do I begin for this? If the person is making strides to not lash out or to not do the same actions and they don't want to talk, why are we egging the person on? And he knows that he gets emotional. He knows that he, can say things that he shouldn't have. So if he wanted to just calm down and not say nothing, why are we saying we pouting? Why were you emasculating the man? Like he just didn't want to. He didn't want to talk. You know, this whole regulating is ridiculous in my opinion. This is a grown person. You're not even a mom yet. You're regulating a whole nother man. A whole nother person. The man wanted to just chill out because from what I remember, they were talking about their relationship, and at one point he just said, "You know what? I'm cool." But to go to the point of trying to say, "Oh, don't worry about him. He's just partying right now. He's being a little childish." You can't call out your man like that. There's calling out, and then there's belittling, and I just that didn't sit well with me. And then to act like a victim and walk off later, girl, please. Girl, please. You brought this on. The man was chilling. He wanted to just like be with his thoughts and let the other couples talk. And even when I think it was Stasia and Nate that was like, it's okay if you don't want to talk about it. The other couples was giving room for you to move on with the topic, but she just brought it right back again. And it's kind of like, okay, so she was waiting for the opportunity to discuss with everybody. It may be something where she lacks, for someone who talks about therapy a lot, she also lacked boundaries in her relationship too. You know, you can't just spill out everything that's going on in your relationship to others willingly. You know, there's confiding in one or two people, but to completely bring him down the whole entire time was kind of like, and then it was like, oh my God, this hurts so much. And it walked off like, girl, is you serious right now? Are you serious right now? You brought this on. And then you want to act like a victim. She sat there and go on and on and on and on. But when he reacts, then it become another issue and say, oh, you being emotional, you being this, you being that. But when he's quiet, it's also a problem. There is no pleasing this woman. It's either like she has an issue when he lashes out and start arguing and yelling back and forth. And it's also an issue when he wants to lay back and just say, you know what? I'm cool. I just don't want to talk about it. So there's no middle ground, right? It's kind of like you want to discuss and fix the issue right then and there with everybody in the room, or do you want to do that at closed doors? And I don't know. It's giving very much manipulation. It's giving she wants to run this man. It's giving Stasia. But most of them are like that though. So it is what it is.
Appreciate it, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. JR, talk to me, baby. Oh, my bad. I'm go for it, yeah, Cap.
Yeah. Okay, so I found this scene telling because you know, she didn't have anything positive to say about the relationship. She didn't want to speak on it, right? And that's what kind of irked him in the first place. Now, I could understand why he'd be pissed because he's thinking, man, like he may be thinking by the fact that he's been vulnerable and you know, expressed himself and also had to take a lot of what she said on board. I think he would have expected her to say something good about where they are at the moment. Maybe he's being a bit too optimistic though, and he's not actually looking at her for who she actually is, but he's looking at her for who he wants her to be. She's not going to respect him. She throws him under the bus behind his back. She makes condescending remarks, disrespects him a lot. So I don't get why she expects him to be able to perform in the bedroom, because, you know, she doesn't rate him. She's not attracted to him, and that comes off in the vibes when they're together. That must do. You can't not be attracted to someone and talk down and talk bad on them the way she does, and then expect him to be amorous with her. You know, so I can see why there's a struggle there. It's like you don't make friends with a bully, right? If someone's constantly jabbing and picking on you in school, you're not going to turn around and invite that guy to your birthday party. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be like, nah, I'm cool. I'm good. I don't need to be around that type of person because they're going to get me out of my character and make me want to fight or make me want to fight back or push back, right? So, yeah, I just took that she really and when she said you hurt my feelings, I think he hurts her feelings when he does speak up and give her some type of pushback. That's what hurts her feelings. I don't think like he hurts her feelings in a sense where he comes out and says things like maybe a Mitch might do and say something that might upset her. I think she genuinely is very offensive and very defensive. So she's able to dish it out, but when she doesn't get her own way or she doesn't like how it's going, then she creates a narrative and puts herself in position to shed the tears. So I think he needs to be mindful of that, because even though I think she's 99.9% going to say no, I think he should be happy with that and say no as well. Just put it down to a bad experience. The other thing I'd say is, with him being so tall, I think there's an element of her wanting to conquer him or feeling like he's been conquered. Because just in the same way as, you know, a tall guy is meant to make a woman feel protected, if she has her own way with that guy and kind of pushes him around and controls him, then I think there's an element of power, like an element of control. And if that's what she's feeding off, then it's only going to continue to get downhill for him, because she's feeding off the energy, the control, the power, the way she's able to control such a big guy, right? A tall guy. In her mind, it probably makes her feel a bit invincible, like she can get away with stuff, and because he towers over her, he can't really do anything back. So yeah, I definitely don't like the way she approaches the relationship. The scene itself, I think she was kind of throwing her stones and hiding her hands. You know, she knows how much the relationship means to him. So for her to not have anything to say, to contribute, I think that's what hurt him. And he's already oversensitive. We know that already. If we know that, then she definitely knows that. So yeah, not happy with this particular interaction, but it's so common. It's actually a common occurrence to see this back and forth between them now, especially when all the couples are together as well. So yeah, not much hope. I don't see how they're going to resurrect it, to be honest.
Hey, bro, I'm hearing you, bro. I'll be honest with you. You know, I think with these two, you know, to be fair, Justin was kind of pushing a little bit for Alexis to answer the question, you know, in terms of saying something on the table, which I kind of get, because by her also not saying anything, it's almost like, you know what, you know, almost the silence, your silence is an answer. Do you know what I mean? So like you were saying, I thought we were in a good place. So if we're in a good place, you'd have shared that information with the group. But because you didn't share anything with the group, it means we're not in a good place. So I'm unaware of us being in a bad place. But she's saying, oh no, we're not in a bad place. If we're in a bad place, I'll let you know. But you did let me know because you didn't say anything, right? Like if we were good, why wouldn't you want to share? You know? But at the same time, also, I definitely hear her point of view, which is, look, I just need you to be regulated in your emotions. I can't have you up and down, up and down, up and down. I can't have you doing Jekyll and Hyde. I can't have you doing back and forth of your emotions. You're either there or you're not, because it creates inconsistencies and it makes me feel some type of way, which I totally get. I totally get that as well. I think she has a point to this argument that they had on the table. I think both of them had a perspective, and I think, you know, maybe we can look at it deeper and kind of see it later on. That these two, she operates on a very strong masculine, he operates on a very strong feminine, and so long as they both stay in those positions and don't come out of it, they're gonna struggle, because it's gonna be frustrating for both parties to be in the wrong position that they don't want to be in this relationship. You know, so yeah, I listen, I'll be honest with you. I think we all know where this relationship is going. More than likely, it's going down the hill. In fact, it's going down the hill already. It's just, we're just waiting for it to crash. You know what I mean? We're just waiting for it to crash. So, but I won't say too much because I've already said a lot of my stuff in my own reviews as well. I won't say anything too tough. I'm gonna pass the baton to Deacon. Can we get Deacon Sean up here? Oh, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Give him a round of applause. Give him a round of applause. Hey, guys. Deacon Sean, give them the benediction, sir. Give them the benediction.
We didn't talk about Lindy and Miguel.
Do you know what? I have no clips of them because I don't remember watching them in the show. What happened to them?
In the beginning, he was making breakfast. And then Lindy was also talking about, like he was saying, I feel like I've seen the worst. So, you know, the best is yet to come. And she was like, you haven't seen the worst.
She's like, no, you haven't seen the worst. She's scary like that. I can't lie to you. She's always wanting them to see the worst. I'm like, baby, what kind of devil do you have in you that you want us to see the worst? Why are you preparing us for the worst of the worst that you're gonna bring to the table?
Hurricane Lindy, another hurricane.
I'm with you on that one.
And the one thing that I realized about their relationship, similar to how Kristen and Mitch's, it's very imbalanced. Like, I don't see Lindy doing anything. And everything she's doing, it's things that you would expect a fully healed adult to do. Like, oh, I'm working on my temper. What, as you should? You know what I mean? Like, other than that, it's like Miguel has to do this. Miguel has to do that. Miguel needs to provide. Miguel needs to give her insurance. He needs to give her security. And she does nothing. So I just feel like she just sits around and expects him to do all the heavy lifting. And I think that's going to get draining after. And the unfortunate part is that that's been a downfall for him in his previous relationships, where he's been giving, and then gotten taken advantage of. So I just wanted to cover those two because I feel bad. But yeah, they didn't give a whole lot of fireworks like the other couples did. Oh, you're mute.
Oh, sorry. I said yeah. I don't remember much of them, but I remember that conversation. That's all I remember of their conversations. I saw them on a boat, but I don't remember what they said. I saw them later on. I didn't remember what they said. I just remember the fact that she said she's crazy and there's more crazy to come. You know what I mean? Like, if someone tells you there's more crazy to come, there's crazy to come. Like, you real crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if someone tells you that, that's not cute. Like, if anybody tells you that, there's more crazy to come, like, and they really mean it, you actually probably should walk away from them. Because what they're really saying is, like, I want to give you the full Super Saiyan, you know, experience, okay, of my craziness. You know what I'm saying? I want to go, you know, I just want to transform. You know, I want to transform right before your eyes and turn into this monster. And it's like, okay, Miguel, run.
Exactly.
It's not cute.
And let them know this ain't no cosplay either. This is real life monsters out here.
Yeah, and we die and we don't respawn, so let's not joke around. Like, don't come and put me on Snapped because of how you feel. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this ain't no game. This is real life. I don't respawn, so take it easy. You know, take it easy. But yes, Deacon Sean.
Okay.
To bring the service to a close. Okay.
Yes, we'll wrap this up real quick and nice with a bow on it. So, you know, first couple, we just talked about them. Lindy and Miguel, listen, Lindy, if you got crazy, contain it before you get into the marriage, right? Before you get into a serious relationship. Nobody wants to see it, needs to see it. Keep it at bay, right? And if you're not fully ready to keep it at bay, then you need to be at bay. That's not cute. It's not attractive. It's not fun. Nobody needs that. It's traumatic, actually. Miguel, hopefully you're seeing the warning signs. We talk often about how relationships give you warning signs. Please read the warning signs on the road, and all roads lead to danger. Danger. Watch yourself. Oh, shoot. We can't even talk about mystical anymore. Anyway, Jesus, Lord, forgive me.
Watch yourself.
It's crazy out here. It's crazy out here. So next up, we have Mitch and Lindsay. Lindsay, thank you for finding your voice. Lindsay, I call her Lindsay. Kristen, I apologize. Kristen found her voice. Please continue to use your voice. The voice is better to be used in private, please. But we appreciate how Mitch received the feedback. Feedback is a gift. And please be on guard that you are not being smothered in your relationship, that it is not one-sided. We shouldn't keep a right of wrongs. However, relationships shouldn't be a scale that's tipped in anyone's favor for too long. Next, we have Stasia and Nate. Please, please don't chase love. Don't beg for love. Wait for love. And if it's not coming, then maybe it's at the next destination. But please, when we chase and we operate from a place of desperation, it skews our perspective, skews our views. For Nate, we don't call our women our wives. We don't call them outside of their names under any given circumstances, in banter or otherwise, especially not an a-hole. Do better, be better. There's got to be a better way. Then we have Alexis and Justin. I think we have belabored that, but just go be by yourselves, the both of you. You are not ready. And please, 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 ladies, if the bedroom ain't bedrooming, don't tell nobody. Mum's the word. Don't allude. Don't wink your eye. Don't raise your eyebrow. It goes left. And, if you feel like you have to be a parent to your partner, then you got the wrong partner. And that's for anybody. We shouldn't be our wives' father. And we don't want a mother in our wives. So please, if you have to be a parent to your partner, pick a different partner. Back to you, Coach. I think I left out Morgan and Ben, but we ain't going nowhere.
We know about them. But listen, guys, it's been amazing. It's been great. Before we go, let you guys know again once more, we are doing our live US tour as well, guys. Okay, just so listen, grab your tickets, guys. Okay, grab your tickets. I'm gonna put a link in the chat. Thank you, Caribbean Girls, already done that as well. She put a link in the chat for us as well. But click on the link, grab your tickets, guys. We're going to be in New York, DC, Atlanta. Like I said already, we're sorting out DC as well with a few other special things. But Atlanta and New York are already out. So make sure you grab your tickets. I know some of you are going to try and do a late one. Please, guys, please do it early, because I don't want you to message me. Okay, because I don't know you like that. You don't know me like that. You're going to message me. It's going to be in my inbox. It's going to be my requests. It's not going to be in my forefront. So grab your tickets, man. The stuff that we do here, we're going to do it live. Yeah. So we're going to have conversations, deep conversations. You know what I mean? Get into some interesting stuff, So if you're enjoying the panels here, listen, we want to see the same panels, as well, in person, okay? Up close and personal. You feel me? But yes, guys, it's been cool. It's been great. It's been amazing. It's been fun. I've enjoyed talking about Married at First Sight. You know what? This episode was kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. We might have to do like a little side panel thing just to discuss again, just one of the two of the issues again. Just go a little bit more deeper. You know what I mean? I think we might do that as well, because there was a lot that was happening in terms of those things, and there was. I think we can discuss some more, especially that Lindy situation. I didn't discuss it, but Lindy, we need to discuss about the fact that kind of crazy is not cute. Like, that needs to be stamped out. Okay, so if you hear your partner saying to you, "Oh no, I can get crazier," you need to start thinking about how you can start running her. Okay, running her out to that place. Okay, all right, cool. Listen, guys, we're all going off to bed now. Make sure you don't do anything you shouldn't do. If you're cute, message me on DMs. I appreciate you guys. Still up, still loaded. We'll see you again very soon. I appreciate y'all. Love, guys.